In fact, it's about 48% of the overall hold in this race. So there's every chance you'll see that price trim in once more. This is a race that's going to change the complexion of the Spring Champion market and so to the Derby market. So if you're keen on any gallopers...
To go in the Tab Gloaming Stakes, they're off and racing now. And Tenbury Wells just given a dig in the ribs out from barrier one. Crystal Clear bounds forward, firm agreement handy. The Kami Star moving up out wide, then Camel Costello. They're followed then by Rag Queen, who takes a position midfield in the early part on the outside of Kasuki. Further back then to Do Calzini. These favourites are well back. Swift Falcon third last from Divana, and Henline sees them all and would be a conservative 14 lengths off the lead. 800 metres to go. Crystal Clear makes it a good gallop, although Akami Star's not satisfied with the pace there, and Akami Star darts up to second. Had to be put back on the bridle there. Tenbury Wells 2 lengths away in third, is being well restrained approaching the corner. Then firm agreement on the improve from El Castello. Further back to Rag Queen, Yasuki. Now Swift Falcon's third last. Henline is still second last as they turn for home. Crystal Clear, can it keep going? Firm agreement the inside. Tenbury Wells is roping them in. El Castello runs on. Then Akami Star and Rag Queen. The favourites are still well back as Tenbury Wells and El Castello moved up. Firm agreement on the fence. El Castello and firm agreement, but El Castello really strong the last 100. Rattling home a Swift Falcon, but El Castello's Tab Gloaming won it by 2 lengths. I think Swift Falcon got up to run second, right on the wire there from firm agreement, and Rag Queen running a clear fourth. Tenbury Wells didn't see out the trip at the end. Henline making good ground at the end. Then Crystal Clear, San Gabriel from Divana.
And also Anthony Cummings, we go back with Strike the Stars. That was impressive. Kathy El Costello, he's been going through the grades. I thought the
2,000 metres, this was 1,800 metres today. So all honours the winner.
Is a very interesting Roman Consul.
Usually I look for a segue, but I think I'll just rip straight into the market, guys. Yeah, so we had a different favourite earlier on this morning. There's been a lot of support for Coleman in the afternoon, and as a result, it's now usurped Spirit of Wealth. So $3.30 and $3.60 about those two this morning. It's now $3.20, $3.40 the other way. Switzerland, $5.50, and not too many friends with...
Drawn the outside. The light is on. We're ready to go on the Roman Consul. Stand by for a start. First leg of the Big Six, and they're off and racing, and High Octane was a little slow out. Coleman's going to settle last, and Gatsby's taken back to keep it company. Meantime, Ikasara bounded out of the gates to lead clearly from Yoshinobu, and Spirit of Wealth third, and Switzerland goes to fourth. Then High Octane improving on the inside of Prost, 2 lengths to Coleman, and Gatsby's was taken back to last. Ikasara is burning along in the lead. Out by 4 lengths to Yoshinobu, and Spirit of Wealth doing the chasing on the outside, just easing back a little bit. 2 further back to Switzerland, then Prost from High Octane, travelling well, but back in the field from Coleman, and 2 lengths away to Gatsby's. The pace has been strong. Ikasara running along, 3 lengths clear from Yoshinobu, then Spirit of Wealth. Switzerland back on the inside, then came Prost from High Octane. Coleman revved up, 2 lengths away to Gatsby's, 3.50 to go. Ikasara, 1.5 lengths in front to Yoshinobu. Now Switzerland starting to knuckle down on the fence. Spirit of Wealth run a race by the looks of it as Coleman starts to run on. Here's Switzerland bursting up the inside. Switzerland went up to join Yoshinobu. Oh, Switzerland pulling away. So much better behaved today. And Switzerland runs away with the Roman Consul, beating Coleman, who grabbed second on the wire there from Yoshinobu, and then High Octane late. Further back to Ikasara. Gatsby's made some headway. Spirit of Wealth, we'll have to have a good think about it.
They will, and talk about think about it. He won it last year, didn't he? So a lovely little segue. Kathy, you said Nash would make a man out of him today. A man he has. And what we saw...
I think this might be the way they lean with their 2 chances.
It was a bit of a who's who. Over the years, this Hill Stakes has been a really outstanding race. Tim Clark's had a good day already. Today's on...
Golden Path is one that opened up at $8 and is now at $4.60, so that's been a decent trim up and well supported. Pericles, $3.60 out to $4.20 back to $4. Royal Patronage, $3.60 out to $4. Kovalika, $4.60 to $4.40, so any number of those 4 could jump our favourite. Nonconformist is actually the worst result from Tab's end. Not that the punters care, but there is support there at a price for Nonconformist. It's a big lose.
This quaddy with a good jackpot. Ready to go. Gates cling back, they're off and racing now, and Golden Path in the middle was one of the best into stride. New Endeavour send forward. as well as Royal Patronage and Attrition wide out. And Pericles is looking for a spot towards the rails as they find their positions. They're non-conformist, Navajo Peak, Kavalika. And last of all is Stockman. So Royal Patronage surges forward. And Royal Patronage takes the lead clearly now from New Endeavour. There with the yellow cap was happy to hand up. And now Attrition darts up on the outside. And Attrition 1,200 metres to go. And Royal Patronage is going to make it a true staying affair here in the Hill Stakes. And races 3 lengths clear to Attrition. A length and a half into New Endeavour. And Golden Path next to the outside. Followed by Pericles, is buried down on the fence by non-conformist. Then Navajo Peak from Kovalika. Length and a half to the outsider of the field. Stockman as they lead the back and run down the side. And Royal Patronage keeping up the strong gallop in the lead. In the hands of Tim Clark, leads by 4 lengths at the 800 from Attrition. Then New Endeavour. Golden Path pretty well positioned. Then came Pericles. 3/4 further back to non-conformist. Navajo Peak, Kovalika still second last. And Stockman is the rear ender. Coming inside the 550 metres now. And Royal Patronage leads by a length now. And Attrition getting closer. Then New Endeavour back on the inside. Golden Path being shoved along. Pericles working into the clear from non-conformist. Kovalika down the outside. They've got 300 metres to go. Royal Patronage and Attrition on the outside. Running on well, New Endeavour. Now Kovalika hitting top gear wide out as Attrition takes the lead. Attrition a length and a half clear from Kovalika running on. It's Attrition in front of Kovalika. Attrition hanging on from Kovalika, and Attrition won the Hill Stakes. Wanted a neck on the line to Kovalika. A gap back to Royal Patronage third. Then came Pericles, non-conformist, Golden Path, New Endeavour, Navajo Peak, and Stockman was last to finish.
Oh, Kathy, don't you love these stories? I mean, he won the Toorak last year on this day, got the Group 1 for Bo Merton's Mitch Freedman, goes up there because he was the first to put the pressure on Royal Patronage, and he stayed strong, didn't he, on the line?
Exactly right. I thought a good ride would win this race.
All right, let's head into the Mountain Yard. This is the Alan Brown Stake.
Behind at Gringotts here, and I certainly hope that we get a change of fortune. Mr. B rolled, broadsiding rolled. We saw an upset in the Hill Stakes. We need a lift. Gringotts 360, NCAP 650, Macarena $8, Waterford $8.50, Here to Shock at 11, Samana 8 out to $14, I Know a Star 8 out to $14, and then we have Punchline and Co at 18 or more. You guys did make mention of the former Kiwi. He popped. Before you have a bet, what's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support.
And ready to run in the Alan Brown Stakes. $1.5 million event. And we're ready to... They're set now, and they're racing in the Alan Brown Stakes, and Punch Lane fired out of the gates together with Macarena on the outside, but Punch Lane's going to lead rather comfortably. Belclair's right on the scene in the early part, and I Know a Star starting to show good muster the outside. Here to Shock handy, then Samana on the rails. The favourite just behind them, Gringotts with Terramata, and Rustic Steel scored very wide. So is Macarena as well, going to the 1,000 metres. NCAP's back in the field, and over on the inside running rail from Straight Ace, then came Amenable. Arapaho out deep from Waterford. Well back is Converge from Territory Express, and Lindemann is the last one. I Know a Star, just like its lead-up trial, is zipping along. I Know a Star by 3 lengths. On Punch Lane, Belclair right there. Just ridden with a bit of patience today. 2 after Here to Shock. They're followed then by Samana from Gringotts starting to improve. Rustic Steel. Macarena's having a torrid time of it as they turn. And NCAP will ride for luck on the fence. I Know a Star swings in front. Belclair now presents from Punch Lane. Here to Shock. Gringotts gets a chance. Further back to Macarena and Samana. Inside the 300. I Know a Star being tackled by Here to Shock, and Gringotts the outside. Here to Shock and Gringotts. I Know a Star keeps fighting on. It's Here to Shock in front from Gringotts. Here to Shock, Gringotts, Waterford flashing home. Here to Shock won the Alan Brown. Here to Shock, a neck on the line to the favourite Gringotts, then Waterford, and NCAP whizzing home at the end. From a Know a Star, Territory Express hitting the line well. Then came Belclair from Punch Lane, Samana. Straight Ace, Converge, Macarena, Rustic Steel, Amenable, then Lindemann, Arapa.
Oh, that was a fierce race, wasn't it, Kathy? I mean, probably no excuses. Some good runs behind the winner, but he was there to be beaten, and he was able to hold off some very good horses in Gringotts, Waterford and NCAP. Kathy, he won the Cameron at Newcastle, and that actually qualifies him for the big dance. So $1.5 million today. He'll go into that $3 million race as one of the big chances.
Yeah, Nash is a big money jockey, and he got the best out of that horse today, and you can just see him there really pushing his head down on the line, and you thought...
Fresh record. Our traders have made this horse at $2.50 admittedly Tab's lay of the day. Now, these are their reasons, not mine, so don't hold it against me. They do agree. First up, fantastic, should probably be unbeaten, but...
It is the Niverson Stakes.
Ready? And they're racing. Coco Jambu missed the kick. Alencia is well back. Is going to settle down second last and snag back towards the tail is Roots. Peace Treaty jumped quite well off the inside with Royal Merchant the other. Then Balderim Bellerin pushing through. Danison Darcy in the orange jacket. Coco Jambu fifth down on the rails. Then came Alencia. Further back then as they go into the first turn is Roots and Hellfire Express is the last one. Blanc de Blanc's back fourth last. So the front runner here is Peace Treaty. Can another Victorian winner? Peace Treaty and Free Wide Path. Coco Jambu back on the fence. Alencia third last from Roots and Hellfire, Miss Hellfire's last of all. Into the straight now and Peace Treaty. Royal Merchant moving up now is Balderim Bella on the outside and down to the 300. It's Peace Treaty under siege from Royal Merchant. Balderim Bella. Now Alencia gets a chance given the cue and Alencia moved up now. Alencia races to a narrow lead here from Royal Merchant and away she goes Alencia, maintaining her outstanding first up record. Alencia beat the long price Danison Darcy, who got through on the inside to Nut Royal Merchant and Coco Jambu flashing home. Then came Hellfire Express together with Balderim Bella. Peace Treaty surrendered late, followed then by Roots.
She's an interesting horse, Kathy, isn't she? I mean, Tommy gave her a quiet ride early, that he was able to bring her to the middle of the track and the straight.
$2.20 now, Jimmy Star, so it's a good go on a Saturday. Well, Amy's Pick of the Yard is holding quite firm too as the second elect into $6.
Gates crash and the big field away. Super Razi took a backward step and going back as Von Hawk. Coast Watch began quickly with Not an Option. Also up there in the firing line, Savannah Cloud with Who Dares out very deep and Coin Toss there. And along the inside, Coast Watch, a link Cirileo Miss, who's 3 wide on the back of Run Harry Run. Jimmy Star about 8th on the outside. They were followed by Age of Kings and Super Razi. Well back Sox Nation, Von Hawk, the Inferno, and Griff is last. Who Dares is the leader. 650 metres to go by a length to Coin Toss. Then came Not an Option. Run Harry Run wider. A length Savannah Cloud. Coast Watch the fence from Cirileo Miss. Next in the field is Buffalo River as they charge to the corner. Jimmy Star will have to come 4 and 5 deep at 6 lengths off the lead from Sox Nation. Well back with Age of Kings. Who Dares is trying to pinch it. Comes around the corner at the 250. A length and a half. Not an Option. Run Harry Run. Jimmy Star in plenty of air is flying down the outside. Here comes Jimmy. Jimmy Star over the top, raced clear, and Jimmy Star won it well. Super Razi second, Who Dares third, Photo for fourth, Coast Watch or Run Harry Run. They were followed by Doing a Bit Late Through.
Whatever term you apply, Jimmy Star, there's something about the Caulfield Cup Carnival, and when a big favourite gets home, almost valley-like horse for a Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes in the latter part of November on what we saw yesterday. And this was at the midpoint of the meeting where there were, you know, I guess, concerns, questions, whatever term you want to put on how the Caulfield track was playing. He sat in that lane where he is there, widest in running cars, and put a hole in them.
Just the best horse in the race.
Yeah.
Went against the form and the conditions yesterday, but was just too good. Simple as that. He was just too good and won it with an air prick.
At the end of the day, this win is even more impressive when you look back on the way the other races were run and won throughout the course of the day. He promised back this time in. He's won over an unsuitable trip. He's won on a day where it was a disadvantage to be down that part of the track. So I think the sky's the limits for him.
And I think
which is nice, so continue to follow him to the Sir Rupert Clarke. That is the mail. Let's have a look at the Herbert Power now. You win this, you get a ticket next week into the Sportsbet Caulfield Cup. Punters can't work it out. Look at this, $6.50 each of 3. Post impress your clear-cut favourite at the $5.50 quote, and he opened up.
And away they go. Post-impressionist immediately drags back towards the end. Herman Hess out quickly with Akita Sushi and also Dashing Duchess. Fancy Man behind them with Hurricane. Aurora's Symphony out wide as There's Post Impressionist from the back of the field, coming with a looping run 3 wide. Think and Fly behind them from Braden Star, Mr. Wolfgang. Well back Ladonda V, followed by Commando Drift, and Maharajanas at the tail of the field. 700 metres to run. Akita Sushi in front, but here's Post Impressionist on the outside, coming with a sustained bid. Then came Gear Up between horses. A length Hurricane. Herman Hess is coiled up, needs some luck from Fancy Man. Aurora Symphony going backwards from Dashing Duchess, followed by the Map. Around the turn, Akita Sushi kicked from Gear Up. Post Impressionist going backwards all of a sudden. Hurricane on the outside. It's Akita Sushi from Herman Hess at the 200. Fancy Man into the clear, and they were followed by Hurricane and the Map. It's Herman Hess from Akita Sushi, then Fancy Man. Herman Hess, 50 metres to go, pulls clear. Herman Hess is going to win it. Herman Hess first from Akita Sushi. Head bob a third, Fancy Man or Braden Star, followed then by the Map and Mr. Wolfgang. Behind those, Commando Drift, Hurricane, Ladonda V, Dashing Duchess, Post Impressionist, Gear Up.
It was simply a matter of time before Kieran Maher was going to win a Herbert Power. It comes with Herman Hess, who has emulated the deeds of Saracen Knight a couple of years ago.
Akita Sushi, the leader of the race, has run a drum and will pay $10 if you've managed to find that horse. Pardon me. Fancy Man outside of that, Michael, ran on quite well.
But the last couple of editions haven't necessarily been that. We saw Saracen Knight win this race a couple of years ago, coming off winning the Antec Classic at Mornington, not holding nominations for the Cups, and of course they're not heading to those races. That's the case with Herman Hess, who took it out and made it a 1-2 yesterday for Kieran Maher. It was just simply a matter of time before he was going to win a Herbert Power, given the staying prowess that his gallopers hold. He's gone 1-2 yesterday, so Herman Hess, well, we might see him heading for Geelong, Bendigo, Queen Elizabeth's perhaps. Akita Sushi is the one we are going to see in a Melbourne Cup, though.
Yes, absolutely. And I think from a Melbourne Cup perspective, I was really pleased with the run of the Map. It was good to see the Map find some form yesterday. But I think Herman Hess, the winner here, will be a lovely stay to follow in that lower tier staying grade preparation this time in.
I like the way he bullied his way into the clear.
The first leg of the quaddie, it's the Mate and Power. Mr. Brightside out to $1.75, but he is holding at least 75% of turnover. We pushed him out because there's good money for a tissue, $5, $4, $4.20. And also Deny Knowledge, who the team have said they... Well, he hanging around the $1.70 and $1.75 is Mr. Brightside. I don't think you're going to get that $1.80 punters. He's very popular. Amy's pick of the yard. And as I mentioned, upwards of 75% of turnover for Mr. Brightside. The dangers, well, they have been spec'd. A tissue to $4.40. Deny Knowledge, $11 to $7.50. And the blowout...
It's onto that. They're racing in the Might and Power. And a tissue drag straight back to the end of the field. Mr. Brightside began cleanly with Vow and Declare. Deny Knowledge out wider on the course, and Jenny Lala is also in the top 4 or 5 as they head towards the climb at the 1,700 metres. Deny Knowledge led Vow and Declare, Mr. Brightside, and out deeper Jenny Lala, followed by Adelaide River, Coco, Carla Poor at the top of the hill. 1,100 metres to go. Deny Knowledge just snuck away about 3 lengths, 4 lengths now. Jenny Lala, Mr. Brightside on the inside, followed by Vow and Declare as Mr. Brightside stays away from the fence at that important stage at the 1,000 metres. Coco Sun making up ground the fence, and then came Adelaide River, a tissue second last, and at the back is Carla Poor. To the railway side, 800 metres to go, and it's Deny Knowledge being rated by Zara. 5 lengths in front. Jenny Lala second, Mr. Brightside in plenty of air third. Coco Sun picking up ground the fence, and then came Vow and Declare, Adelaide River, a tissue second last, and Carla Poor is at the end. Deny Knowledge with 500 metres to go is 4 lengths in front, and now Mr. Brightside starts the chase. 2 lengths Coco Sun, followed by Adelaide River, a tissue's trying to get away from the rails. Deny Knowledge into the running. 300 metres to go. 3 lengths Mr. Brightside, then Adelaide River, and a tissue brought to the outside from Coco Sun. Deny Knowledge, 200 metres to go, has given a bold sight. Mr. Brightside wearing her down. 100 to go. Still Deny Knowledge, a length and a quarter. Mr. Brightside not getting there, and the mare has stolen it. Deny Knowledge wins. 3/4 of a length. Mr. Brightside, a tissue. A gap Adelaide River, Coco Sun. Next in the field, Carla Poor, Vow and Declare. Jenny Lala last. Take a bow, Mark Zara.
For the third time, Mark Zara produces a masterpiece in a Might and Power, Galo Shop, Cape of Good Hope. And now we have Deny Knowledge, a Group 1 winner, the 5th mare since 2013 to take out the Caulfield Stakes feature. And she will set her compass with 50.5 kilos towards next Saturday's Caulfield Cup. What a tremendous race it was.
As the Caulfield Stakes, usually a good pointer towards either next Saturday's Caulfield Cup or, of course, the Cox Plate in a fortnight's time. And it was Deny Knowledge. Sam Friedman was a little bit tongue-in-cheek pre-race saying we're looking to try and do the time-honoured Grafton Cup Might and Power double. Well, it's mission accomplished on that front. And she looks primed and ready with 50.5 kilos to tackle a Caulfield Cup next Saturday. She'll be on speed. It's always a good place to be in a Caulfield Cup. She was really good yesterday, so all plaudits to her. But, Cuz, what's the evaluation of Mr Brightside, who was an odds-on favourite, and his 6th attempt still remains without a victory at 2,000 metres?
Rode him with too much confidence.
Too much confidence?
Too much confidence.
How so?
When he was back, obviously in the box seat, and then he pushed Val and Declare off. I think there was still 1,000 metres to run, so he got to one off the fence. He just sat there. He didn't go after the eventual winner. He just sat there. So as they knew what they were saying before, they were going to run along. So he's got in his mind, well, last time I did that against Pride of Jenny, it unstuck me and then I got criticised. So he's sort of like, do I or don't I? You look here, he's out here now, but just sitting there. Just sitting there. Why not? You're on the best horse in the race. Give him a squeeze now, Mr Brightside. Get up there as much as you can, and then you can ease off again, and then hit her just on the corner and treat him like he's the best horse. And he fights in races, and do that. That's what myself and Simon Marshall were talking about yesterday. Should have been done. You look at him now, Craig Williams here. He's just sitting. He's sitting, thinking that he's just going to pick him up and put him down.
So Mark Zara wins his 3rd Might and Power. Let's take Matt Hill's call of the closing stages.
Trying to get away from the rails. Deny Knowledge into the running. 300 metres to go. 3 lengths, Mr Brightside. Then Adelaide River and a tissue brought to the outside from Coco Sun. Deny Knowledge, 200 metres to go. Has given a bold sight. Mr Brightside wearing her down. 100 to go. Still Deny Knowledge, a length and a quarter. Mr Brightside not getting there. And the mare has stolen it. Deny Knowledge wins. 3/4 of a length, Mr Brightside.
Britt, there's something about these Pride of Dubai mares going to the front and leading them a merry dance.
You know what? I interviewed Ben Hayes yesterday and I thought, how in repeat?
She's a bit better than was it the Kmart or Target version of Pride of Jenny? Yeah. I think she was described as in the media during the week. She might be a Caulfield Cup winner in 6 days' time.
Could be, and with a light weight.
A look.
With a light weight.
A look. What did you make of a Tissue's effort to place?
Run of the race. Was ran into a brick wall. When obviously Mr Brightside came off the fence, then Atisha went, righto, I'll take that up. By doing that, ran into a brick wall, and then had to do what he had to do on broadsiding, wait to get over their heels, and then hit the line strong. I thought it was
I haven't heard any
very good
dialogue.
30 kilos and get someone to get me.
Get back out there.
Thought this graphic might have been a list of the big races he's won. Fortunately, it's not. It's the Caulfield Cup with Buckaroo now a 460 favourite. Alias 6, Land Legend 8, Zardozi a $9 chance, Young Vert a 15, and the long-time favourite Warmonger a $17 chance.
Warmonger.
Day. Here we go, the Caulfield Guineas, Mr. I'll tell you something, broadsiding's here. He's the best 3-year-old in town, and he needs to stand up for favourite backers here. $1.50 sneaking out to $1.70. Why is that? Because there's good money for Angel Capital to knock him off at 9.
Caulfield Guineas, $3 million at set weights for the 3-year-olds. Who will rise and handle the Who Got You, Star Spangled Banner, All Too Hard, and the Autumn Sun. There's more than a dash of the Autumn Sun about broadsiding. How did he look, Amy?
Broadside.
More than a dash of the Autumn Sun about broadsiding. How did he look, Amy?
Broadsiding looked fantastic. I've got him on top, Nigel. It's hard to go past him, but I tell you what, that mounting...
Get better here, punters. Evaporates next best in terms of turnover on the Sportsbet market books. So here we go. We've got $1.70 broadsiding. You know he's going to get back and he's going to have to round them up and beat them. We haven't really seen that today. And the best lanes have been closer to the vents and on speed, you would imagine. But James McDonald shooting for 100 Group 1.
Set, and they're racing. Broadsiding towards the outside, away fairly. Ruta Royale jumped quickly with also Private Life, who's going to lead them early. Feroce and Tropicus behind those horses. Wanneroo is in about 4th or 5th as they settle down into stride. They were followed by around the outside Mayfair, who got to about 6th, and driving through between horses. Public Attention's now in the top 4. So the leader at the 1100 metres, Private Life, by 3/4 of a length. Ruta Royale. Feroce is 3rd, followed by Public Attention. A length and a half, Tropicus on the fence, and then came Wanneroo. Next in the field is Mayfair, a length and a half to Broadsiding, who's 2/3 down the field from Evaporate, Angel Capital, and the bolter Vianara. To the side of the course now, 800 metres to go, and the leader Private Life by a half length. Ruta Royale, a length and a quarter. Feroce 3rd, and then came Public Attention. A length away Wanneroo. Mayfair deeper from Tropicus. A length and a half Evaporate. Broadsiding 3rd last from Angel Capital, and last of all Vianara. 500 metres to go. Private Life had a bit of a breather midway from in 2nd. Ruta Royale. Public Attention 3 deep. Feroce behind those horses trying to edge off the fence from Wanneroo. Broadsiding still has 3 behind it. The leader Private Life led by a length. Ruta Royale. Feroce, Public Attention. Then came Evaporate. Broadsiding still a long way off them. Private Life. 200 metres to go. 2 lengths Feroce. Then came Evaporate and Broadsiding. Private Life at the 100 from Feroce. Private Life. Feroce coming at Private Life. Private Life. Private Life has just won from Feroce, Evaporate, Broadsiding, then Public Attention. Next to finish Vianara, and then came Tropicus, Angel Capital. A gap Ruta Royale, Wanneroo, and a long last was Mayfair.
A 3rd Caulfield Guineas for master trainer Chris Waller. Press statement 2015, the Autumn Sun 2018. They were dominant favourites in their editions. That was not the case with his 3rd winner this afternoon. Private Life, the son of Written Tycoon, has staved them off from the front in a Caulfield Guineas that perhaps has not unfolded through each step of the 1600 metres as was advertised. Unlikely in some respects compared to those other two able to take victory. He was 4th in the Group 2 Guineas Prelude as the lead-in, and this was Damien Lane taking advantage of the conditions of the day. It's one thing to then change your plan, one thing to then get your horse in the right spot, and they combine beautifully.
A masterstroke from Damien Lane, I thought, rode the track to his advantage in being able to go forward here. We'll speak so much later on with Cuz's deep dive dissection of the favourite Broadsiding, and we'll talk a lot about Evaporate as well, because I thought that was a fantastic run. But focusing in on the horses that ran 1st and 2nd, it was Private Life who was able to jump to the front. I think that Prelude form, which was not the A form, we didn't think going into it, we're all looking towards the Golden Rose. But I think for Private Life, that benefit of having had the experience around Caulfield, and they'd spoken about the fact that Joe Moreira got off that day and said it took him a little bit to balance up, and therefore they wanted to gallop him on Tuesday at Caulfield, and that's exactly what they did.
Led by a length, Ruta Royale. Feroce, Public Attention. Then came Evaporate. Broadsiding still a long way off them. Private Life, 200 metres to go. 2 lengths Feroce. Then came Evaporate and Broadsiding. Private Life at the 100 from Feroce. Private Life. Feroce coming at Private Life. Private Life. Private Life has just won from Feroce.
It's a good point you raised, Britt. So the Golden Rose, Nick's been the dominant form line, the dominant form reference for this race in recent years. 4 of the last.
I still think the Sydney form, though, will be the stronger form line through those 3-year-olds. And after the race, a lot of people wanted to make the comparison with So You Think going towards the Cox Plate with what we saw from Broadsiding, a strong 4th through the line. Obviously, a lot of punters that backed him yesterday were disappointed with the result. But do we think this horse could now springboard into a Cox Plate and still be a live chance? Because if you take away the fact that he was a short price favourite, it was still a run full of merit and hopefully with plenty of upside to come.
Yeah, something for a bit more discussion as Cuz picks the race apart in a moment. There was almost a fairy tale. With about 100 metres to go, I'm thinking it's amazing how racing can get the planets to align. So new MRC chairman John Kangar is amongst the ownership group in Feroce. Dom Sutton, with his very first Group 1 runner, almost pulled off a heist, a mighty boss-style upset in the Guineas. It was a terrific training performance from a guy who's doing a really, really good job as a young trainer who's decided to go and strike it on his own. Yes, he's got good support behind him, but...
Built at the half mile when the track's even. horses, they expand and everything opens up, all these little gaps. Say if you're 3 back the fence, you generally get through. If you're 4 back on the fence, if you're second to last on the fence, everyone, they widen and you get runs. But yesterday, they weren't doing that. They were staying as close, because of the conditions, they were staying as close to the fence as they could. So when broadsiding was back there, he'd have to be a hurdler to jump over other horses to get a run. So I'll point out things that I think could have been different, or the reason why he lost you.
James McDonald, broadsiding.
Yeah, he made good ground late. Track's really good.
Ethan Brown, public attention.
What was going to happen yesterday. It does feel a little bit So You Think-ish, and you referenced that before, Quinny. It's setting a very, very high bar comparing him with what So You Think's gone on and done. Not saying he will, but then it's also a case of what you're up against. And what you're up against, as we have a look at the market with thanks to Ladbrokes, is we've got some clearly established weight for age gallopers, and then also a horse who's proven on the global stage with a measuring stick against last year's winner to deal with.
And it's the first time we've probably seen...
It's private life, of course. Broadsiding, Mr. B, we're a bit rattled in the studio, I'm telling you now. Hunters are on the floor. Anyway, here's the Scalacci. We've got to look through the windscreen here and have a go. Recommendation is your favourite. $4.40, $4.40 out to $4.50. Oscar's Fortune, the good 3, and a leader's bias track. He's got to be hard to beat, doesn't he? Well, yeah.
Racing in the Scalacci, and Recommendation broke away very, very quickly, was the best out. And after 100 metres, led by a length and a half to Salui, Oscar's Fortune, Mornington Glory, and then Star Patrol. Next in the field is Kalos beyond centre field. From Bellatrix, Star Party, and Mahaba is last. 750 out, Recommendation in front. Led by a half length to Salui, Star Patrol, Oscar's Fortune, 4th on the rails. They were followed by Mornington Glory, a length and a half away, Kalos, Bellatrix, Star Party, and 2 further back is Mahaba. Coming up towards the turn, 450 out, it's Recommendation. Just in front of Salui, a length and a half, Star Patrol, Mornington Glory. Then came Oscar's Fortune. Kalos riding the rails. Bellatrix started the middle of the course, and then Mahaba and Stapati. Recommendation at the 250, led from Oscar's Fortune into the clear. Kalos follows it through, and Bellatrix Star right down the centre. Bellatrix Star, the filly, goes up to Oscar's Fortune. Bellatrix Star just in front and will win. Bellatrix Star a neck. Oscar's Fortune second, Photo third. Kalos or Mahaba, and then came Recommendation. Next, Mornington Glory, Salui, Stapati, and Star Patrol.
Craig Williams is having himself some sort of afternoon. Yes, Bellatrix Star becoming the first filly in 21 years to win the Scalacci. You said to Amy pre-race she was peaking, and she's shown that, and then some. All your thoughts through the first half of the race, given how these tracks played?
Scalacci from yesterday, and, well, the fun continued for James Cummings, James McDonald and Godolphin with Kalos. Not a pretty watch if you're on him in the closing stages as he pokes his way up along the fence. But Bellatrix Star, Mark Walker, Ben Cleason and that operation, they are on song at the moment. And this was bold placement from that team to put this 3-year-old filly into the race. We hadn't seen one win a Scalacci for 21 years, and she deserves a crack now at a Coolmore. It's sort of a why not? You get a free hit given what she's been able to do through listed Group 3 and now Group 2 grade in the spring.
And another challenging day for punters will hopefully end with another will helping them bounce back. He got out to $3.20 on race day. He's subsequently been back from $3.20 into $2.70 and has been the best back runner today. Throughout the course of the week, the biggest liability was Frantino, last year's runner-up, as much as $6.50 at various stages into $4.80, and good pre-post betting.
I liked his attitude too. He can get quite full of himself in the mounting yard sometimes, but his attitude was just spot on. He was just happy.
There's nothing better than an old-fashioned launch when it's been a tough day on the punt at Caulfield today, Caulfield Guineas Day. It's a 2-rack handicap. It's another will. Have a look at this. $2.50 into $2.35 if you don't mind, umpire. Bang, this is a good go. Come on, let's get him up. Now, outside of that, the top, he does.
Barrier 1, and they're racing. Orchestral away only fairly, and Antino goes back to last. preceded there by Craig. Another Will is the initial leader with Magnus Spin. Light Infantryman out deeper on the course, and also Desert Lightning showing pace with Bankmore behind those horses. Ozopenko next on the rails with also Wishlaw Lass, a gap Jimmy the Bear, followed by El Safina, Orchestral, Craig, and Antino is at the tail of the field. Surging up around the outside, Bankmore is going to shade another Will on the top corner at the 1,000, followed by field from Jimmy the Bear. A couple of lengths, El Safina, followed by Orchestral, and then came Craig, and Antino's getting mobile now from the back of the field. 700 metres to go. It's Bankmore on the outside of another Will, and they are striding together. 600 metres to go by a length and a half. Magnus Spin, Wishlaw Lass. Here's Antino with a lightning move from last. Whips up around the outside now and goes to the front. So it's Antino with Blake Shin. Daring Tactics at the 400. Shows at the whip and went for home. 3 lengths in front of another Will, followed by Desert Lightning, Magnus Spin, and behind those El Safina. Antino, every poster winner at the 200 metres. 5 lengths in front of Desert Lightning, El Safina, followed by Craig, but it's all Antino. Blake Shin, take a bow from last to first, has bolted in. Demolished them. Antino, 6 lengths. Craig, El Safina, then Desert Lightning. Behind those horses, Ozopenko and Orchestral from another Will. They were followed further back in the field by Wishlaw Lass and Magnus Spin. Then came Ozopenko well back with Light Infantryman, Bankmore, and Jimmy the Bear at the end of the field.
Fortune favours the brave, and Blake Shin was the bravest without doubt in the 144th Toorak. He grabbed that race by the scruff of the neck, and there was going to be no catching him. And last year's runner-up effort behind Attrition is in the rearview mirror, as is all of this year's field. A one-act affair, 3, 9, 7, 1 year numbers in 7 1 year numbers in the Toorak. Tony Gollan has always believed Antino was a Group 1 galloper, and now that has crystallised in the most emphatic fashion. And Blake Shin,
what Blake Shin does on Antino at the midpoint of this race, and this is so well deserved on numerous fronts. So Tony Gollan's 7th Group 1, he's 3rd in Victoria, the first of those that's come at Caulfield, and had the right form leading in through the Memsey, through the Mackay Diva. Really, really good. Effectively doing this in the Fian when Pride of Jenny and Mr Brightside were out front in that small field, Attrition in behind. He was the one to make a long, sustained gallop, and this is exactly what he does from this point for Blake Shin in yesterday's Toorak.
Riding together, 600 metres to go by a length and a half. Magnus Spin, Wishlaw Lass. Here's Antino with a lightning move from last. Whips up around the outside now and goes to the front. So it's Antino with Blake Shin. Daring Tactics at the 400. Shows at the whip and went for home. 3 lengths in front of another Will, followed by Desert Lightning, Magnus Spin, and behind those El Safina. Antino, every poster winner at the 200 metres. 5 lengths in front of Desert Lightning, El Safina, followed by Craig, but it's all Antino. Blake Shin, take a bow from last to first, has bolted in, demolished them. Antino, 6 lengths. Craig, El Safina, then Desert
Love
Lightning.
it. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Easy to laud in hindsight. John McNeil tried the same thing on Post Impressionist in the Herbert Power, and he was gone on straightening. So you got to be prepared to have a crack.
Yeah, you sure do. But what he did here, he caught them all asleep.
Yes.
So early on the first 2 furlongs, they did some work. Another Will obviously did some work to keep them out so he could keep the front. But then got there from the 1200 to the half mile and went, put it into reverse, let's go slow. And Blake, as soon as he knew that they clapped off the speed, he said, right, bang. He didn't just go half-hearted. He went full speed, which caught them all napping and just got away from them. He was fit, classy, and an outstanding ride.
We'll be talking about it at the end of the year as Ride of the Year in contention for that. It was something like I've not seen before, but you have to have the horse to do it, and he had the right horse to be able to sustain a gallop like Antino did. Credit does have to go to the horse as well for being able to do that because, as you said, it was tried earlier in the day and it not successful. What an incredible horse. We saw what he was able to do in the Fee in the 4-horse field with Pride of Jenny, so they knew he could chase and you know, run along for a turn of foot, and just wonderful to see him do that yesterday.
You consider the 4 emergencies for the Tab Everest are in this, all Group 1 winners. They haven't made their way in. And last year's Everest winner is in this at $8.50. So that shows you the depth of this Sydney Stakes, and a couple of mil going on the line. Southport Tycoon is our favourite, $4.40. Overpass, $5. Marzu, $7. Arkansas Kid, a significant firmer, $15 the open, $7.50 the bottom, now $8. Think about it, just out a point and a half. King of Sparta's been lobbing around that $11 or $12 all morning, and you can see 19 or more.
It's a tough one.
Sydney Stakes, and they're off and racing. And overpass jumped well to get with Marzu, and hard to say there, the mark as well. Think about it, goes full out wide, and it's all moves off on the rails. In front of him, the steerer, and King of Sparta about midfield, but out wide. Williamsburg down on the fence, Arkansas Kid slicing around the back, Southport Tycoon winning. King of Sparta goes back now. Lady Laguna very deep. Cabala's Keen, then Mumbai Muse. Atmospheric Rock rocketing by, and Climbing Star is the last one. Overpass races to the front now at the 600 metres. Gets a length and a half clear to Marzu. Cold Crusher. Airman wedged between runners there in the yellow cap. Further back to Estero. Southport Tycoon with plenty of horses in front. Williamsburg back on the rails. Further back to Arkansas Kid. Oh, think about it's gone down at the top of the straight as Overpass accelerates now. The afterburners have kicked in. Overpass a length clear. Going up the inside is Cold Crusher. Airman running on. King of Sparta late, but Overpass is clearing the Sydney Stakes. What a great horse he is. First up today, and Overpass wins the $2 million feature. Betting Cold Crusher. Third between Southport Tycoon and King of Sparta. All followed in by Marzu. Lady Laguna late with Climbing Star. Then Airman by Muse. Remark rocketing by Atmospheric Rock. And unfortunately, Think About It has collapsed on the track at the top of the straight. Rider is quite okay, Jason Collett.
He is okay, and that's what we're thinking about at the moment. It is just devastating to see such a great horse end his career in such a way. He's a wonderful horse, the winner. It's a brilliant training performance. He's been a colossal horse.
Rounding out and trying to keep half an eye on what's happening in Sydney. Out of the corner of our eye yesterday, the Sydney Stakes, the precursor to the Everest, and we saw last year's Everest winner, Think About It, go down at about the 350 metre mark, and we were fearing the worst, Amy. These pictures are hard to fathom based on what we were thinking at the time.
I tell you what, when I had a look on social media, we were all in the studio, you and I, Nige, yesterday, and I read the message that he got up. And it was collective, like, you're kidding me, oh my gosh, like, thank goodness. We were all elated, but also couldn't believe it. Like, when something like that happens, it didn't look good at all. And thank goodness, he's a wonderful horse. You don't wish that upon any animal. We love all of them just the same. But for him to get up like that and to walk back to scale, I think that apart from the great successes of, you know, the big races, that's the story of the day for me. I think it was wonderful to see.
Jason Collett coming out of it relatively unscathed, it seems, as well.
Yeah, what a huge relief it would have been for Joe Pride.
Exciting new concept. Everest, an exciting new concept. Brash, intoxicating, a new generation of fans.
So they run. Australian racing's about.
Nature Strip clings on. He's king of the mountain this time.
The glory.
$1 million in prize money.
The richest race on turf.
Think about it! Think About It won the Everest.
An iconic cup.
A trophy made of diamonds.
Races and the King Charles III to go to boot, $38 million. 3 of them now at Group 1. It's the richest race on turf, the Everest, and it's by far and away the richest race on, the richest day, I should say, on the Australian racing calendar.
The Everest since the beginning, and every single one of these horses can win, and it just would not shock you. That's from that.
Bella Nipotina's got better with age. She's a 7-year-old mare by the same sire as Pride of Jenny, who's also 7. She has got stronger as she's gone on. What she did last season was amazing. The most important market at Royal Randwick for the year. It's the...
We do have a new favourite here, though, Bruce. It's hard to believe. I Wish I Win's been favourite for months now, and yet Jolly Star has usurped that galloper on the final day. $6. Sunshine in Paris now $6.50. Traffic Warden $7, and I Wish I Win at the $7.50 and the fourth line of betting. Bella Nipotina $8.50. The Tab Slot Representative Growing Empire at $9.50, and we're talking 12 or more the rest. But Jolly Star more than likely jumping our favourite here in the Tab Everest. Before
lights on, we're about to go. Late scratching Traffic Warden.
He's out. Traffic Warden, a late scratching. Traffic Warden withdrawn here in the Everest. And with final seconds loading them into the barriers. There's the light now, and we're ready to go. The gates are back here in the Everest. They're off and racing to the massive roar of the crowd. Bella Nipotina came out running wide out. So did Growing Empire. Lady of Camelot's right there. And Storm Boy really revved up, goes to fourth. Private Eye battling out wide. Then Steffi Magnetica, IME back on the fence. Jolly Star gets back together with Sunshine in Paris. I Wish I Went Out very deep. And Giga Kick's cutting through on the rails. Bella Nipotina couldn't cross Growing Empire. Storm Boy's whipping up underneath the pair. He responded to the early urgings, and now Storm Boy moved up on the inside of Growing Empire at the 600 metres. Bella Nipotina's forward, 3 wide, no cover. IME tucking up on the fence. Further back to Lady of Camelot. Private Eye, Steffi Magnetica, Giga kicked the fence. Sunshine in Paris coming wide from I Wish I Win. Jolly Star's got it all to do. Storm Boy at the 300 leads the way from Bella Nipotina. Then Growing Empire. Giga Kick making ground on the inside. Then Lady of Camelot. Bella Nipotina moved up. Bella Nipotina with Growing Empire. Up the inside is Giga Kick. Giga Kick going to Bella Nipotina. Bella's in front though. Bella Nipotina wins the Everest from Giga Kick. I think Growing Empire third. Flashing home Jolly Star. Then Private Eye, Lady of Camelot, Sunshine in Paris. Then Steffi Magnetica, Storm Boy, IME, and I Wish I Win.
Magnificent race, an incredible classic run up the straight between two wonderful horses. Bella Nipotina with Craig Williams winning a second Everest. Kira Ma gets the win. She takes her prize money close to $20 million. Third richest ever.
She is the most genuine mare I've ever seen. From drawing a barrier like that to be able to 3 wide the trip and still fight on a horse that had all the favours up the inside and Giga Kick. She deserves all of these accolades. What a horse. She was an $80,000 English Premier purchase as a young yearling. And what a ride to take.
Beats Giga Kick, Growing Empire and Lady of Camelot, if you don't mind. What a first four. What a mare she is.
What an amazing performance.
You know, we thought she was in career best form, and she got her conditions to suit. She's got an uncanny knack of running very well from any gate, wide, inside, doesn't matter. And just Craig, beautiful ride, you know, to have the balls to do that. And yeah, I can't thank my team enough, because old teams, it's unbelievable. And to do it this late in her career, you know, like a 54 start or something like that, it's unbelievable.
How do you...
All the team, and what an iron mare she is, to think that she's getting towards 60 starts in her career and she's at her best. This is just phenomenal. Craig Williams, of course, having had prior success in the race, does a splendid job. And Ollie, we saw her go to Queensland in the winter. There were queries on her credentials at 1,400 metres, but with age, she's shown an adeptness to get out to that trip. And usually being good at 14 translates well into our big sprints at 12.
It does. What a remarkable mare this is. I mean, she's been to nearly every state in Australia, doesn't miss a carnival. You could see Willow, she jumped really well there yesterday, and I think he looked like he was thinking, oh, am I going to take the lead up here? And then they kicked up underneath him, and she didn't have an easy run out there, but she can do it from anywhere. I think probably a little bit forgotten there from the wide gate there yesterday, but she overcome a tough run. I think the fact that there was not quite the pressure in the race that there could have been in a race like this normally, but she was tough as, and you know, super tough just to outlast Giga Kick there on the inside, and you see Jolly Star on the inside, probably the run of the race, I thought.
Good day for Willow outside of the Everest. He also won the Kosciuszko, so he's basically got full ownership of any race named after a mountain at the moment. And splendid job by him. He beat the horse that he won the Everest on a couple of years ago. That's the other aspect of this conversation. Is what Clayton Douglas has done with Giga Kick is phenomenal, but also it's a question of what could have been for this horse if he had have been able to stay sound and injury-free in the past 2 years.
It's interesting, though, you know, when he got a bit of a blessing.
The magic and mystery of racing, and hopefully we see Growing Empire in the Coolmore after his third yesterday.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we had 4 3-year-olds. Oh, it was going to be 4
no
of them. Obviously,
warden.
we lost Traffic Warden as a late scratching, but hopefully they do go down that path, because I think it would add a lot of intrigue to the Coolmore. But to answer your question, I mean, he could have been anything. I mean, he was favourite against Imperatrice.
$1 million Silver Eagle here. These are for 4-year-old races today, 1,300 metres. And
a nice little incentive for Bella Nipotina winning. Ostraka $4.40 V8 at $4.80 in this one. Komochi $5.50, War Machine $9.50 and 11 or more the rest. But we felt as though we'd reward all of you with Tab Slot Holder taking out the Tab Everest. What's gambling really?
Racing. And there's a lovely line out. V8 will be taken back to last from the wide draw, and Ostraka being sent forward. And Ostraka's going to lead these and lead them out by a length and a half, quite comfortably, in fact, from Rhythm of Love. War Machine moves forward, and Komochi's right up there in the firing line in fourth. They're followed by Zadaki down on the rails from Flying Trapeze, and Bases Loaded cast deep. Moravia is trucking along on the fence, getting very keen. Franz Joseph out deep, then Port Lockroy. Further back to Stritton Angel, well timed on a wide par from Konasana, and the well-supported V8's last 10 off the lead. So Ostraka in control of the 600 metres from Rhythm of Love, War Machine, and Komochi beautifully positioned fourth, followed by Zadaki going through on the fence, then Bases Loaded, Flying Trapeze. Well timed is out very deep from Franz Joseph, and Moravia right for luck on the fence. Port Lockroy stoked up. V8 still last. Ostraka at the 300 leads by a length on Rhythm of Love, War Machine. Then Komochi gets going. Zadaki running up behind them. Ostraka 200 to go. It's Ostraka a length and a half clear. Zadaki working into the clear. Komochi the outside needs to lift. It's still Ostraka in front though, inside the 50, and Ostraka's going to beat Zadaki. Photo third, War Machine and Komochi. Moravia next, followed by Konasana. Further back to Port Lockroy. V8 running on at the bases loaded and well timed.
Emma Carr-Blake shouldn't pull a surprise or two. We've seen that in the last week. You with your best friend Annabelle Neesham. You guys are joined at the hip, you guys.
Chance. He's got a picket fence behind him now. Like, what's his ceiling, do we think, going forward?
Oh, I think he's very good. He's so progressive, and I actually said to the owner...
Caulfield Cup. We get to the third of the Group 1s today. The $5 million King Charles III Stakes. 1,600 metres. Wait for age with this colossal trophy and all the river. This is so interesting, Charles Wolf. He was a dominant winner of a very good Epsom.
Yeah, he was extraordinary, wasn't he? He's got a lethal turn of foot on him. Loved his win there.
Unbeaten. She's the champion horse of Australia. She's transcended the sport. I think everybody just has become so attached to her. It's the way she races. She goes out with a huge lead. She is so courageous. At some stage in the straight, she's going to have a very big lead over lots of them, including Fangirl. But Fangirl has a withering finish, Katie.
She does, and she's going to have to...
We started the day with an even money favourite in this in Pride of Jenny. In fact, it was $2 and $3.70. Now, as we have a look at the market, you can see that gap has closed. Pride of Jenny, $2.60 favourite. Fangirl, $2.90. So that has been a significant trim up. Now, the weight of money with tab fixed odds is all heading the direction of Pride of Jenny. 3-4 times more than what we're seeing for Fangirl, but the trend, the overall market trend, certainly has that gap closing, and Fangirl currently $2.90, second elect. Chaywall $6.50, $11 Celestial Legend. You can see the rest. Major Beal, a really interesting runner here. Had a chat to Adam Hieronymus yesterday. He said everyone thinks Pride of Jenny's going to lead and lead easily. Well, if she leads, she's going to work for it.
Oberon, and Pride of Jenny slowly rolling forward on the outside and staying very wide on the track. Celestial Legends right there on the inside of Pericles. Then came Lion Draw from Chayawolf. Fangirl wedged between runners back in the field. 2 lengths further back then to New Energy. Well back then, and last of all in the early stages is Tom Kidd. And so she got her own way in the end, Pride of Jenny, and she rolls out with a 2-length lead. Major Beal is really keeping tabs with her at the 1,000 metres as they start to break the field open. 5 lengths away to My Oberon. Then Pericles doing the chasing the outside. Celestial Legend 5th the inside and a length clear. Then to the second favourite, Fangirl, looking for a second success in the race. Chayawolf's back on the fence. Lions Roar deep out from Amelia's Dual New Energy, and Tom Kiddens last of all. 600 metres to go. Handlebars down on Pride of Jenny. Opens up by 3 lengths and the crowd starting to cheer. 3-4 lengths away to Major Bill, My Oberon. Then came Pericles, and Fangirl being roused along. She needs to get to the outside. Up the rise, Pride of Jenny, 4 lengths clear. Now 3. My Oberon's closing in together with Pericles. Celestial Legend the inside. Fangirl and Chayawolf heading top gear. My Oberon moved up to Pride of Jenny. Pride of Jenny, My Oberon, and here's Chayawolf, the Epsom winner, with a booming run down the outside. Chayawolf takes lost the lead and won the King Charles III, running down Pride of Jenny. My Oberon third, Tom Kedden fourth, then Amelia's Jewel, Celestial Legend, Fangirl couldn't pick up today. Then New Energy from Pericles, Major Beale, and Lions Roar was last to finish.
Sensational. We have had some incredible racing today, and that is right up there with them. Blake, what a Chad Schofield. He's done it again with Chow Wolf. This is going to be such a special horse for him. Jenny, she ran her guts out. Can I say that?
She handicap Chow Wolf. What a horse he is. He's now won an Epsom handicap and he's won a King Charles III stakes. And just that last furlong, wasn't he so strong? And Pride of Jenny, she did run her heart out. My Oberon looked the winner too. He held on for third. Fangirl, every possible chance there. And Tom
Star in the last 2 weeks. Racing's a funny thing, isn't it? You thought you were going to experience one of the lowest lows only an hour or so ago, and look at this, the highest of highs.
Been in it long enough to know that half an hour is a long time, an hour is a long time. It's one for the corner shop today, you know.
How the hell did he do that? To reel her in, I mean, she didn't have it her own way. We expected that there would be a couple of things that might upset the apple cart today, but that turn of foot was just, that was even more explosive than we saw 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, look, he's on the improve. He just keeps getting better, and I think I'm going to have to put him in the paddock. I don't think my heart can handle too much more of this. So,
is that what you're going to do? Sure, you're tempted by Cox Plate, though.
There is so much to come with this horse. It's only a week away. I'm just sure it's too much. But look, I'm just really, I'm overwhelmed because of what happened earlier, and then to experience that. Wow, I don't know. I'm out of words.
Six Pet Trip. What is his ultimate distance?
I've always wanted to win the Cox Plate, and he's my Cox Plate horse. So I'll wait a year.
But maybe in 2025.
Yeah, maybe he might win it for the next couple of years after that. So.
Oh, mate, you deserve this. Congrats.
On the inside of Fangirl, I was going better than her at the 400. I just had to sort of wait for her to go, and I came off her heels. He had so much to do. He had so much work to do, but again, he just gave me that devastating turn of foot, and it's probably a changing of the guard. He's the new one. He's a machine.
Did you think going
gone to Icebergs or somewhere like that, perhaps, to take in the King Charles III stakes yesterday? And wow, what have we seen here with Chair Wolf, who was outstanding, winning the Epsom a couple of weeks ago, and it now graduates to Weight for Age. Of course, comes out of perhaps one of the real form races of the spring, with a second placing in the Kingston Town. This is a horse that would not look out of place in next Saturday's Cox Plate. He beats Pride of Jenny and My Oberon. Clearly, Pride of Jenny is the discussion point given what unfolded. Over to you, panel.
Well, you can see Major Beale hold its line from a wide gate, keep Jenny out wide. You know, we've seen the steward's report and it was investigated, but he's entitled to hold his line from that wide gate as long as he's not coming out and impeding Pride of Jenny. The thing is with Pride of Jenny, she's predictable. We know what she does. She likes to go out and lead. There hasn't been a horse, so I think the chink in Jenny's armour is if there's a horse to cart up the rest of the field like Major Beale was there yesterday, she doesn't get that break in the field where all the other horses have to do the work to catch her. And I think Major Beale helped a lot of the other horses in the field be able to do that yesterday.
Chia Wolf was absolutely incredible here. Like, what an action, how hard this horse is trying. I'd love to see his closing sectionals, but I don't think we could take anything away from Jenny. Yes, she was defeated yesterday, but she was still brave as hell. She ran super. And for a mare that was questionably the first couple of runs in her prep, was she as good as what she was last preparation? Has she come back? Is she going, you know... It was sort of a little bit on the fence as to how she was performing. She's bounced back into terrific form and should lose no admirers for running second.
Nigel, should Tony Otter...
But, look, I've seen the head-on, and we'll see the head-on here. Pride of Jenny doesn't... Major Beale doesn't shift out. She just holds its gate. Maybe comes out a little bit, but he holds his line. But normal thing is to go in. So, look, as long as he's not bumping into Pride of Jenny, he's entitled to hold his line. Like, it's not something you expect them to do, but like I said, we know what Jenny does from the start, and, you know, there's just been no one to challenge her in that area in the races in Melbourne. But the questions were certainly entitled to be asked, but I'm satisfied with the steward's report and the way that they were answered.
Fingers crossed she is sound.
The way that they were answered.
Fingers crossed she is sound and ready to rumble for next Saturday's Cox Plate. I thought that...
for Caulfield Cup Day. Let's have a look at the third small field. These are the 3-year-olds getting ready for a derby. Keeneland was fantastic, winning last start, leading all the way to at Flemington. So one thing is the popular elect into $2.20 here, Keeneland. Down the page, Red Park.
Gales coming out here. 126 Vets Advice. Racing and towards the outside, West Indies jumped away with zest. Keeneland out well with over on the rails China Sea. Not too far away, King of Wall Street, Peru and Scary last of the small group at this stage. They're about 2 metres to go. Keeneland is inching ever so closer and they're a length and a quarter King of Wall Street followed by China Sea. Now Scary's 4 off the lead and they're starting to quicken it up and Peru is last of the small group. 550 metres to go. So the favourite now, Keeneland, gets a bit closer on the outside of West Indies, who still had a bit of dash left. King of Wall Street is hanging onto their coattails and is right there on the outside. China Sea extricating away from the rails, and then came Scary. West Indies, Keeneland, it's a dash to the post. King of Wall Street a length away, and China Sea's getting between horses. Keeneland's got a real race. There's 4 across the track at the 150. Keeneland grabbed by China Sea, and King of Wall Street's hanging tough. King of Wall Street and China Sea, stride for stride, heads in unison, photo finish. A photo between China Sea and King of Wall Street, very close. Keeneland third. Desperately close. Desperately tight, and it'll be the outside by a wart. Kick.
Race in Red Aces, but it's that breed who salute. Matt Kamani, who's perhaps a little bit in the John Sargent mould, who had the runner-up in China Sea. Always
for the 3-year-olds yesterday, heading towards a Derby and an Oaks respectively, and it was a clean sweep for Michael D. And congratulations to one of our own, Paul Woolley, who's part of the TRP crew. Well, our crew wear sort of a black polar fleece on the race days. He just needs to put on a tie for Derby Day because King of Wall Street will be heading there. Super job. He was terrific in the Derby trial. Was still a maiden yesterday, but so often we see maidens bobbing up. The difference as we compare both the 3-year-old contests yesterday, though, guys, is the times. The boys running 2 seconds slower.
Yeah, another very...
10, by the way, King of Wall Street into the Derby. 15 into $10 after winning the previous over the 1.25 miles. Let's have a look at the girls now. The 3-year-old fillies are heading towards Flemington over the Oak Strip, and yeah, there, Too Darn Discreet is the horse to beat. Shooting for 3 in a row. Mickey D shooting for a race-to-race double. Couldn't stuff it up from...
Set for the ethereal. The fillies are ready, signal from behind, and they're racing, and Mumsy was one of the better ones away. Tries to find an early position. Killcare Beach Girl is forcing up as expected with Too Darn Discreet. There's My Fair Lady with that tactics alteration is going to push up, and Feminile holds her place on the rails to get to 4th. Killcare Beach Girl being rated by Tim Clark, and he's very good at doing it. A half length in front of My Fair Lady, and they're 2 lengths, Too Darn Discreet, Feminile. A length and a quarter away, Jenny's Meadow. They really have slackened midway from all kinds of folk. A length, Mumsy. Hurry Curry third last in an awkward place, and then came Bella Dramatic and Inevitable Truth. So the leader, Killcare Beach Girl at the 600 from the Boulder, My Fair Lady. Too Darn Discreet getting out into air 3 wide. All kinds of focus behind those under pressure. Feminile yet to be called upon from Jenny's Meadow, Mumsy. Behind those, Hurry Curry, and Inevitable Truth is going to stick to the inside. Too Darn Discreet is tanked up on the outside of Killcare Beach Girl. Feminile runs up behind them. My Fair Lady under pressure. And then Jenny's Meadow. Too Darn Discreet wants to hang in. Goes up to Killcare Beach Girl. Feminile the inside, followed by Jenny's Meadow, who's joining in. Too Darn Discreet at the 100. Won't go straight. Jenny's Meadow wearing her down, but Too Darn Discreet's kicking on one rein, but she's too darn good. Too Darn Discreet and neck Jenny's Meadow at Feminile. Then Inevitable Truth, and behind those horses was...
The 3-year-old staying contests on Caulfield Cup Day, and Too Darn Discreet was too darn tough.
Fortnight's time to the ethereal. As mentioned, Michael D able to get it done, and this was the start of a tremendous day for the Too Darn Hot fillies. It's Too Darn Discreet, just got it done again. She just looks resolute.
She was too darn good, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was fantastic. Really nice ride by Mick. She looked amazing and was dominant. And I think that was backed up by a nice time on the day as well.
she's still hanging in badly, isn't it? It's a concern that it may cost her a race one day, but she was able to capitalise on a good draw, get in a good position, and I think having a strong left-handed jockey like Mickey D probably helped her there in the run to the line as well.
You know what?
Have a look now at these beautiful fillies in the next. Well, Gigi's Miss Truth was screaming home last start behind Bellatrix Star, and punters have zeroed in on that form because Bellatrix Star's come out and won the group. Should be the one they have to run down. Zetang with that is rock solid next to Lek.
Racing in the 1,000 Guineas Prelude, and 2 Darn Lizzie fired out from the inside draw to lead To Be or Not to Be. Zetang's nice and close, a length and a half away third early with Gigi's Miss Truth Benagil. They were followed by Another Prophet, Exuberance in Her Rise, and Rapid Chevelle. Towards the back of the field, settling down, Matisse and Amina as last. 2 Darn Lizzie is the leader. 1,000 metres to go, 3/4 of a length to Gigi's Miss Truth, 2 1/4. Matisse is second last, and last is Amina, 700 to go. 2 Darn Lizzie extends that lead to a length and a half. Gigi's Miss Truth. A similar gap to Benagil, third the rails. Then came To Be or Not to Be. Zetang on a limb from Another Prophet in Her Eyes. Exuberance, Rapid Chevelle, second last Matisse, and last of all Amina. 2 Darn Lizzie has a decent buffer coming round the turn at the 400 metres. She's 2 1/2. Gigi's Miss Truth. Then Benagil. They've left the fence here. Then To Be or Not to Be. Zetang hooked to the outside, and In Her Eyes is darting back over towards the rails. 2 Darn Lizzie at the 200 metres. Gigi's Miss Truth is coming out after her, and then came Benagil. 2 Darn Lizzie, 100 metres to go. Can she do it all? Yes, she can. She's 2 lengths in front, and 2 Darn Lizzie punched out, won it. All very close second between Gigi's Miss Truth and Zetang, and then Benagil, and not a lot changed in it. Matisse behind them, followed by Amina, who picked off a few. Rapid Chevelle, Another Prophet in Her Eyes. To Be or Not to Be. And
there's a bit of wind about, which, from
performance, well, just smart placement, I thought, by Gai Wardhouse and Adrian Bott. They had the confidence to have another crack at the Caulfield 1400 after the likes of Lilac and DeClichy Boulevard ran over the top of her in the Jim Maloney at listed level on Underwood Day.
Yeah, absolutely. She was dominant yesterday too. I thought that she ran a super race, really nice ride. Gai always won.
They had their chance to beat her. She just dominated from the front. But you think she'll run a strong mile? Is that the query?
Yeah, I still think it's a little bit of a query.
Yeah.
Horses like Matisse, she's just got mile written all over it. Like, she's a beautiful...
Now, the Sportsbet Cup, and there has been good support for Alias in the Sportsbet Caulfield Cup. $7 to $5.50, race 7. First leg of the quaddie. Here we go, punters. Ray Magnerio. He's got to bring that form that he brought here last start, and punters are saying he can today. $4.50 into $3.30. Good go. Estriella on the nose, the hole in the market, your early favourite. $3.40 out to $5. She's had 2 runs back in. She's
ready. Gates crash, and they're racing. Estriella evenly away on the inside. Way to the Stars began quickly with Ashford Street. Estriella's going to zoom through and lead the race outright at the 800 metres. Quite comprehensively too, by 2 1/4. Way to the Stars, Ashford Street, and also Scuderia. Spacewalk behind them with Sons Doot. A gap, Ray Magnerio and Midtown Boss at the 600. Estriella 3/4 of a length. Way to the Stars wider. Ashford Street kept it there, and Scuderia right up against the fence. They're a length and a quarter. Sons Doot, Spacewalk, Ray Magnerio and Midtown Boss. They charge around the turn at the 350. It's Estriella held together a length. Scuderia, Spacewalk, Ray Magnerio running up behind them. Way to the Stars behind them from Sons Doot. The leader Estriella, 200 metres to go from Spacewalk, and Ray Magnerio to the outside. Estriella at the 100 from Spacewalk. Ray Magnerio's flying. Estriella needs the line. Ray Magnerio dives. Photo. That's tight. Estriella tiring, Ray Magnerio charging. Photo. Spacewalk third. They were followed by Scuderia fighting out fourth with Midtown Boss. Estriella needed the line. Ray Magnerio's dived. It looks as though it's missed. It has. It has missed. Estriella will just last. Estriella wins from Ray Magnerio second. Spacewalk third. Well, Estriella coming back
in the 8. Ray Magnerio was the fly to come home, the only horse to break 12 for the last 200 after he was slow to begin. He's very much a bespoke 1100-metre horse, isn't he?
Yeah, it was a clever ride by Ben Melman. Looked good speed in the race, and I think he was going to look for a sit on this filly yesterday, but when she began so well, he was able to get hold of the lead, control the race, so to speak. Like you said, Ray McNair.
Attention to the second leg of the quaddie. One race before the mighty Sportsbet Caulfield Cup. And it's all about Skybird at the top of the market, or is it? There's a good spread of money, to be honest. Skybird has shifted, though. $4.53, $3.10.
Away. Catahoula, if anything, took a backward step, but it was a beautiful line away, really. Revolutionary Miss is right up there in that leading clump with Lady in Pink being used up from that low draw, passed by Tis Invincible and Miss Aria early. Lady in Pink back to fourth from Rota Arataki. A gap then to Quintessa Rota Arataki. Catahoula's very deep, and Molly Nickers on the rails in that line. The next line of horses, Skybird off the rails outside of Anahita, well back, and So Glamorous last, but at 6 lengths first to last. Revolutionary Miss in front in a packed field at the 500 metres in front of Tis Invincible. Sione 3 deep. Then came Miss Aria, just needing some luck from Lady in Pink, Quintessa, Catahoula. Then Molly Nickers and well back Rota Arataki, and Skybird needing some luck as well. Revolutionary Miss quickened up at the 250. Lady in Pink is going with her though on the inside. Then Tis Invincible, Miss Aria out wide, and then came Molly Nickers. Revolutionary Miss joined and headed by Lady in Pink. 100 to go. Lady in Pink a half. Revolutionary Miss, Miss Aria. Lady in Pink. Lady in Pink has won it. Revolutionary Miss second. Miss Aria third from Molly Nickers. Then Quintessa, Tis Invincible, So Glamorous, Sione, Anahita, Skybird, Rota Arataki, and Catahoula a long way back.
Now, this is a training performance from Leon and Troy Corstens and Will Larkin, who's now part of the training partnership. The Tristark yesterday pointed towards the Empire Rose, but an important race in its own right at Group 2 level. And what a sensational performance this is from the Corstens and Will Larkin, who's now on the ticket with Lady in Pink. I spoke to Will about this post-race, Amy. We're watching her running those 2,000-metre 3-year-old contests through the winter months. You're thinking she's probably a matriarch or maybe even a Cups horse perhaps to sneak in. Instead, they've gone down this sort of miler path, and she looks every bit it.
Well, she was super yesterday, wasn't she? And good on Will too. He's worked so hard with the team. It's lovely to see someone that's...
Race dominated by on-pace runners. I didn't mind the run of So Glamorous, I think it is, of Graham Beggs, making good ground out wide. I think she's one to keep an eye on.
To the start.
The Caulfield Cup. No peer, not here, nor anywhere.
And Faulkner's got up to win from Daredevil.
The Caulfield Cup doesn't stop a nation. This is a celebration of one.
Jamaica won by 3 to Scottish.
The toughest 2,400-metre turf handicap on the global calendar, dating back to everyone's wish list, enhanced with a $5 million prize pool. A target for mugs with good horses to the world, arguably the greatest Caulfield Cup performance by Might and Power.
Might and Power has gapped them in the Caulfield Cup. What a win, he's won it by 7 lengths.
And the Very Elegant.
Very Elegant, and Anthony Van Dyke, it's all class. Very Elegant and in front, and the Bear won it.
Incentivise.
Incentivise is coming away, 4 lengths in front, and Incentivise, what a star.
Durston,
he's coming at goal. Tripp has got up. Durston has got up.
Without a fight.
Without a fight, Chris Winslow, the hits in unison. Without a fight from the Caulfield Cup.
The Caulfield.
Small, so, you know, will he see out the 1.5 miles?
Here we go for the Sportsbet Caulfield Cup of 2024. Cup double. Looking to make it 10 is the 2 in Buckaroo. Second in the Turnbull. Joe Moreira trying to provide Chris Waller with his 3rd Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, he's the horse to beat. He's former dominant winner of the Underwood. Brings that sort of form. He'll be extremely hard to beat with 54.5 on his back.
Moving beautifully. I've seen him out the back. He's here absolutely primed.
Kieran Martin.
Looks well.
7 is Alias, 3rd in the Turnbull. Tim Clark and Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott combined to run 3rd in this race 2 years back.
Know how to peak them on pace, Alias. Excellent run in the Turnbull and form prior in the Kingston Town. Well, there's winners littered everywhere.
The Whirlpool in effect, and now over $1 million. All eyes in Hong Kong perhaps will be on the 8 Land Legend with the great Zach Purton in the saddle. He's got to defy some history. No horses won from Gate 1 in the Caulfield Cup for 83 years.
He likes to break records, that's for sure. And this horse was fantastic. Having a protest in the Metrop. Look, it was an excellent win. And I think what we saw in the preview, even though he hasn't won in a while, is that he's been brave off a very strong speed. There'll be good speed again, but maybe 2,400 or...
Second in the Metropolitan, the winner of the VRC Oaks as a filly last spring.
Brave in the Metrop off that run.
Caulfield Stakes,
Caulfield Cup double, that's the assignment for the 15, Deny Knowledge.
Dropped 6.5 kilos for the weight for age Group 1 win, beating Mr. Brightside. That reads well, 1.5 miles, no problem. She'll roll forward from the outside gate on the back up. There's a lot of positives.
Sportsbet Caulfield Cup $5 million Group 1 handicap over 2,400 metres. A 5 kilo spread in the weights from top to bottom. Clint Hutchison.
There's some beautiful looking horses here. I'm with Land Legend. This horse kept on taking my eye out the back. The way that he was moving, I think that he's absolutely...
Legend, he has his supporters. He opened up at that quote. And his favourite, Buckaroo, he got out to $4.40 punters. Said, nah. Joe Moreira, Chris Waller, he knows how to win this race. And he's back into $4.20. And the best back late is number 2, Buckaroo, your favourite. Alias with the on stage, back out to 16. Duke de Sessa, they're coming for again. Tightens up a point. 20 tightens up a point. $23 to 11 for the Duke. Thank you very much. And there's stacks of value. So Duke de Sessa, the best back late at a price number 10. But
thereabouts as well. Now here's the 3 roughies at their back. Duke de Sessa, $23, now $11. Money all week for this galloper. Circle of Fire, the Sydney Cup winner, loves a slog. Look at his flux there. They'll come up in a moment's time. 46 into $26. And Berkshire Breeze gained a start today. Big money for this.
Animals. I really like Duke de Sessa as a little bit of a roughie there, and it's always such a great race. And I think from a jockey's, you just really need...
Racing in the Caulfield Cup, and Buckaroo jumped away neutral. Towards the inside, Fancy Man was away okay with Carla Poor. Duke de Sessa, Young Vertus trying to slot across. Sadati's kicking up from that inside draw, and there's Elias who's firing over. So as they reach the judge, Duke de Sessa is the leader from Carla Poor. Then Elias and Sadati out wider on the course. Deny Knowledge 4 and 5 deep from Young Verta, Fancy Man. Then came Land Legend, Zardozi. Berkshire Breeze is middle of the pack with Witor, and they were followed by Buckaroo with Coco Sun around at 4 deep. A length and a quarter, Valiant King, Warmonger, Knight's Choice, and Warp Speed is last in the Caulfield Cup. So with approximately 1,600 metres to go, Deny Knowledge is going to continually force around them and take the lead from Duke de Sessa. Elias is third, one off the fence from the outside draw. Sadati, fourth the inside, 2 lengths to Carlapour, followed by the hill at the 1,200 metres. The speed's been even. A gap, Coco Sun, Buckaroo, Knight's Choice, and then came Valiant King, Warmonger. Warp Speed is last of all through halfway. So it's Deny Knowledge, only knows one way by 2 lengths. 2 in second, Duke de Sessa. A length and a half away third, Elias, and then came Sadati. A length and a half, Carlapour, Land Legend. Young Verta 3 wide. Behind those, Zardozi tucked away on the inside, making up a little bit of ground. She's nice and close, about 6 off the front. From Fancy Man, Circle of Fire at the 800. Then Witor, Berkshire Breeze, Buckaroo with a bit to do. Coco Sun under pressure from Warmonger, and then Knight's Choice well back with Valiant King and Warp Speed. Duke de Sessa at the 600 metres is about to put the foot down. Claims Deny Knowledge. Land Legend right there in second place, chasing Duke de Sessa. 2 for the back is Elias, and then came Zardozi, and a gap to Fancy Man. Duke de Sessa comes around the corner. 300 metres to go. 2 lengths, 3 lengths in front of Land Legend, who couldn't sprint with it. Deny Knowledge wax on Zardozi, and here's Buckaroo. Duke de Sessa, 200 metres to go. 4 lengths in front. Buckaroo's the only danger, trying to get into the lead. Duke de Sessa, 100 to go from Buckaroo, a length and 3/4, but it's going to be Duke de Sessa, Harry Coffey. This is your moment. A length and a half, Buckaroo. 5 lengths away, third, Land Legend. From Zardozi, Fancy Man, Deny Knowledge. Then Elias, Circle of Fire, Warmonger. Witor, Young Verta. Valiant King, Knight's Choice, Coco Sun. Warp Speed, Sadati. Then came Carlapour and Berkshire Breeze last. A daring win. It's Harry Coffey. It's the story of the carnival so far. Duke de Sessa wins the Caulfield Cup.
It sure is, Lizzie. And look, there's Kieran Maher looking on. So Kieran Maher becomes the first trainer to win an Everest and a Caulfield Cup on that same day. We don't have it every Saturday. And cystic fibrosis, we know, Lizzie, the Harry Coffey story. I was actually in Adelaide the day that he broke through and won his very first Group 1. He's a cricket pitch in front, halfway up the Caulfield Cup straight. How good that must be.
From the front on Duke de Sessa, who gives Kieran Maher his second victory in the race. 8 years after his Bonnie mare, Jamaica, saluted. Duke de Sessa, who was 9th in the race last year. He's just been a different conveyance this preparation. 4th in the Underwood, 4th in the Turnbull. Conditions to suit this afternoon. Rated to absolute perfection. And the jubilation.
It's your birthday as well. How are you feeling?
Oh, I don't know how to describe this. How am I feeling? Spectacular. Phenomenal. When I let rip, I thought maybe I've gone too early. But one thing you can count on with Kieran Maher and this amazing team he has, you can back their horses in. They'll just keep running, and because of Kieran, this horse's owners, his staff, I've been involved in a day I'll never forget on my birthday.
You had a bit of...
Kieran Maher, what can't he win?
Yep, he's certainly got a great arsenal, like we've said, but he continues to produce the results. Buckaroo back...
You now and how the celebrations have been?
I'm at a Ampol Servo near Queens Way. Cast. Got to put some diesel in the ute and find my way to Echuca for a few rides later this afternoon.
So you obviously stayed in town last...
And every spare chance I get, I've been trying to ring Taylor, and so I can't wait to get home and see everyone. And it's actually nice that I've got this week off from riding, because I'll be able to spend some quality time and catch up and reminisce.
Harry, take us through what you were thinking coming to the turn, because you went for home pretty early there. You must have been pretty confident in how good you were going.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think, Ollie. It was just something that in the moment I did, and it's funny when you're in the moment...
Underrated anymore, mate, and it's good to see that, you know, a local jockey can get the job done when they fly in all these international jockeys. It just goes to show with these lightly weighted races that we're going to have this spring, that I think it is an advantage to have a local jockey that knows the tracks, knows the horses, and knows the jockeys they're riding against. And you just showed that you're more than capable to get the job done there yesterday, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Ollie. I actually, nothing like self-interest, but I couldn't agree more. It's amazing the emphasis.
Royal Children's Hospital and the Good Friday appeal. And that's a man who turned 29 yesterday. Like, the maturity beyond his years for all he's endured. And the travel, the decisions.
Love the ABC to do a proper show on him and his success and everything like that. We know they're very quick to point out when racing does something wrong. It'd be amazing to see them get behind a young man like Harry.
To get across. Harry's been able to get across pretty easy, get into a good position, whereas the Nine Knowledge is still working across. Elias a little bit wide as well. Other key runners, you see Zach Purton here on the inside, got a good position. But when the pace slows up here, he gets a little bit keen. Zardozi gets in a good position behind it here. But on the backup, you saw that Deny Knowledge wasn't as free and able to last start, and also the wet track as well. And I think just that the pace is a little bit slow, and he's not a genuine stayer, so he gets out to try and go. Harry's still in a controlling position. He probably feels him coming, pops off as well and gets going. And as you can see back in the field here, Joe on Buckaroo here is a little bit held up behind here, but there's not much he can do. If he peels off there, gets pushed wider, he's probably just got to take his medicine. And the winning move here is Harry is able to take off. He probably just doesn't know that Joe's getting held up here, but the fact that he was able to put a gap on Joe here really wins him the race, and he's got no weight on his back.
Let's take Matt Hill's call of the closing stages of the Caulfield Cup.
300 metres to go. 2 legs, 3 legs in front of Land Legend, who couldn't sprint with it. Deny Knowledge wax on Zardozi, and here's Buckaroo. Duke de Sessa, 200 metres to go. 4 legs in front. Buckaroo's the only danger. Trying to get into the lead. Duke de Sessa, 100 to go from Buckaroo, a length and 3/4. But it's going to be Duke de Sessa, Harry Coffey. This is your moment. A length and a half, Buckaroo.
His moment indeed. So Buckaroo was 36.66 home for the last 600. No other horse in the race broke 38. That's a stark difference. Is there a scenario where Buckaroo's sitting here as a Caulfield Cup winner this morning, do you think?
Oh, quite possibly. If he was able to, if it opened up a little bit sooner, he was able to, you know, pinch a couple more lengths getting to the turn, he probably runs down the winner. But Joe's been a bit stiff in last couple of years in this race on a horse that begins slow, and also last year in Salcombe, who was slow out as well in the Melbourne Cup. Those two races where if he's on a horse that's got a bit more tactical speed, you know, he could be a Caulfield Cup and a Melbourne Cup winner.
So the traditional form...
In my opinion as well.
I like the run of the fourth place getter from a Melbourne Cup perspective in Zardozi. Nearly got put through the running rail at about the 1,300 metres and lost a lot of momentum. Gathered up, was strong through the line. I think we saw last spring she's just an out-and-out stayer, so I'm hoping she'll peak over the 3,200 metres, and it'd be great to see the Cummings name once again associated with the Melbourne Cup.
What's the
extended margins there too? Even though we thought wasn't too strong mid-race, the pace, there was a lot of gaps between the runners, and the winner's not in the Melbourne Cup. The second horse, you know, was probably the run of the race, but the third and fourth horses were probably beaten a fair way too, but hard to look beyond that. I thought Fancy Man was an OK run, back on the inside, had a good run through, but there's some big margins between.
What did you make of Warmonger?
Thought he was OK, but he's got a lot of ground to make up, hasn't he?
Is it just...
Probably going to be one that could be...
Hard to go past the second horse, though. He's the run of the race, misses a penalty.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had questions about him running a mile and a half yesterday. And the way he hit the line there, I think he's definitely the one you want to be
Does
taking
that eradicate your concern there? You probably thought it was going to be a really wide-open betting race, but as the market approaches on race day, we've got Prognosis and Via Sistina starting to clear out. Prognosis for Via Sistina 420, Pride of Jenny 6, Broadsiding 7, Mr Brightside 10, Cheo Wolf 12, Docklands 13.
Give me that, though, over... Give me $4 or $5 the field and a Cox Plate as a spectacle rather than have you sort of stand out, wait for Age Star, who's a, you know, clear odds-on favourite.
I'm with you, yeah. I'd like to see a nice competitive race than a standout. You want to see a contest, and it looks like we've got one there in the Ladbrokes Cox Plate this week.
Who are we with at this stage, pre-barrier draw?
I want to see the barrier draw, but Prognosis, I've got such high respect for the Japanese horses. Prognosis can be a little bit tricky at the start. If he draws the right gate when he's probably not in the gates too long and they can get him away cleanly, got to respect him, because I'm not sure there's a horse, but I'd probably lean to him if he draws the right gate.
Broadsiding.
Prognosis with a saver on Broadsiding.
OK.
You? Come on.
Via Sistina at this stage. I'm with Ollie, though. Prognosis, where he draws, how he goes getting out of the gate.
Good move in our feature race today for the Chris Waller trained Unusual Legacy. Was a $6 chance when the betting opened, backed all the way down to $3.10. Just pushed back out slightly from $3.10 to $3.20. Backed, was third in the Metrop last time out, and this former Kiwi is one favourite. Unusual Legacy, $3.50 into $3.30. Birdman $6.50. Muramasa $7.
And they're racing in the Geelong Cup. Hit the road, Jack jumped away well with Vow and Declare, and Herman Hess from barrier number 1 is holding its position. El Bodegon is right there as well, almost 4 across the track. Now out wide, Mission of Love is also searching across. Mr Wolfgang's the widest. Now Unusual Legacy has gone to the outside of the field, and it's going to be pulled up, I reckon, Unusual Legacy here. There's just something not quite right with Unusual Legacy, and the favourite has been pulled out of the race. So it's an absolute sensation here at Geelong. They leave the running with just over 1,800 metres to go, and taking the lead is Mission of Love by Gang Will Sleep Well Tonight, 3 wide. A length and a half are made. One Smooth Operator is 3 wide, but has the back of Mr Wolfgang at the 1,000. Then came El Bodegon, a length Interpretation, and Birdman is last of the group. Speed's been only even at best, where Mission of Love is the leader from Hit the Road, Jack, and Herman Hess at the 800 metres. Mr Wolfgang is sliding up out 3 wide to 4th, and then Muramasa. Behind those, One Smooth Operator, followed by the Map, who hasn't worked at all. Interpretation's getting going, and there's Birdman set alight from the back of the field. Gets to midfield out very wide with a looping run from Vow and Declare, El Bodegon, and a maid is last as they pack around the corner in the cup. 400 metres to go. It's Mission of Love from Hit the Road, Jack. Herman Hess has got up on the inside. Mr Wolfgang, One Smooth Operator join in now at the 250. It's One Smooth Operator with Mr Wolfgang, then Herman Hess. One Smooth Operator goes to the front from from Mr. Wolfgang and comes away. One Smooth Operator, 3 lengths in front, 4 lengths in front, and One Smooth Operator's going to win it easily. Interpretation has got up for second from Muramasa, then a wall of them. A Maid was right there with also the Map, and behind those Herman Hess. Back behind those horses, Mr. Wolf gone, and looking over to the 1800 metres. Unusual Legacy has been pulled up out of the race and has broken down.
A dramatic Geelong Cup from start to finish. We wait for more information.
Comes away.
Nellison's brought a number of horses to Australia over the years. He hasn't been back for a little while. He might have brought his best Melbourne Cup chance of all time in 2024. One Smooth Operator making a one-act affair of Wednesday's Ladbrokes Geelong Cup. Craig Williams winning the race for a 6th time, and that horse is well and truly in calculations now for the first Tuesday in November. What was the view on the victory, Ollie?
It was a dominant win. It was a slowly run race, but he was able to put a margin on his rivals. He's got a lightweight in the Melbourne Cup. I think he's going to run a cheeky race.
Sort of the
He's a tight favourite here at $3.60. Opening quote was $3.60. Sorry, out to $3.70. Francesco Guardi. We know he won the race 2 years ago. He's on target to run in a Melbourne Cup this year. He's got a fire, punters. He's got a fire up to you. At $14 to $11. Okita Sushi.
Serpentine bouncing around, and they're racing. Akita Sushi jumped well with Manzoi's Hurricane, and there's deeper on the course Just Fine as well, pushing up. Serpentine holding the rails. Positivity's also in that leading group. Back in the field, Hurricane as they swing towards the back section, as Childs is just stopping and starting them at the moment. Akita Sushi, 4th one off the fence at the 1200 metres. A length and a half to Serpentine and Hurricane. A length and a quarter Braden Star. Then came Sharp and Smart, Francesco Guardi, and St George's at the tail of the field, and no change in the order in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. Just Fine the leader by a length. Positivity off the back section at the 850. Then came Manzoi's 3rd from Akita Sushi, still on the bridle. A length and a half Serpentine and Hurricane, and then came Sharp and Smart under pressure from Braden Star at the 650. Francesco Guardi still last with St George. Just Fine, 550 metres to go with Positivity about to throw down a threat. Akita Sushi's looming up on the outside as well, and the race is on in the Gold Cup at the 450. Behind those Manzoi's Serpentine is sliding into it, and Braden Star is on the inside, needs a run badly. Akita Sushi's gone to the front though, around the turn at the 200 metres. Akita Sushi, a length and 3/4 Serpentine, followed by down the outside Sharp and Smart. Akita Sushi at the 100 from Serpentine. Akita Sushi, 3/4 Serpentine. Akita Sushi holding on and wins. A half Serpentine, Sharp and Smart, 3rd from Braden Star, luckless. Then came St George, Francesco Guardi, Manzoi's Positivity, Hurricane, and last after leading was Just Fine.
You simply cannot stop him. Kieran Maher is in a juggernaut at the moment, and he adds the Moonee Valley.
Photo for 3rd over Braden Star.
Moonee Valley Gold Cup going the way of Akita Sushi, 50 kilos in the Melbourne Cup. It anticipates it's going to be one of the MAR representatives in a couple of weeks' time. Welcome back to the wrap.
Let's have a look. A no, $2.50, and that gap's just closed a touch. Just Party, who was that closer in the replay you guys mentioned, is there on the second line at $3. It's the best backed runner, 2.5 times that.
Racing now. And bounding out of the gates, a node as expected, and is going to lead from Prost, Crystal Clear and Deconstruction. Just Party races to a clear 5th in front of Depth of Character. Therefore, the outside of Just Party. So Just Party there's pinned away on the fence and about 4 lengths off the leader, a node. Back 3rd last, Dane Commander on the outside of Altop, and Tatoka sees them all. 600 to go, and a node shows the way. No change to the order, a half in front to Deconstruction. Prost has been well positioned in striking distance, then Crystal Clear, and now Just Party's coming off the fence rather aggressively and gets to the middle part of the track. It's a node in front of Deconstruction. Prost gets off the fence. Just Party's winding up on the outside of Crystal Clear. It's a node really being tested by Deconstruction. Prost, Just Party the outside. It's Prost moving through. Prost and Just Party fighting it out now. Prost the inside at Just Party. Prost, Just Party lunges. Just fell short, I'd say. Give it to Prost, a nose on the line to Just Party. 3rd maybe a node. Crystal Clear and Deconstruct. Altop hitting the line hard. Then Dame Commander, Depth of Character.
Her horses so well, and
Yeah, tough, lasted on the post there, and I mean 150 metres, and Adam just got the horse to produce just enough to win there this afternoon. But tough effort from both of them, but he had his chance to...
This favourite here, Democracy Manifest, is the horse I speak of. Maybe a question mark for some at the trip, but when you have a look back, the only run at the 1800 was desperately unlucky in a 5 diamonds wide throughout and only beaten 0.7. Lindemann 420, Faulkner Park 480. There is money for a...
Been drawing well.
I'm looking for Faulkner Park to bounce back. He didn't like Melbourne. He loves Sydney.
Lindemann jumped out really well off the inside. Spirit Ridge being sent forward. Naval College as well. New Endeavour's out pretty wide. Radina's going to sit pretty handy on the fence from Nemerian. They're followed further back by Red Wave, pretty deep out. Democracy Manifest has 3 behind him early. Faulkner Park, Arapaho, and then came Democracy Manifest, parked on the inside of Faulkner Park at the 800. And the last 2, Arapaho on the inside, Converge. So Spirit Ridge coming to the corner, leads out by 3/4 to New Endeavour. And Lindemann's getting right up on the tail there of the leader at the 600. Then Naval College from Red Wave under the pump. Radina pinching ground on the fence. Further back to Nemerian. Nash in a tricky spot here under Democracy Manifest. He's all locked up on the fence. Into the straight. Spirit Ridge shows the way. Lindemann's trying to shove off the fence, but New Endeavour's holding its spot. So Lindemann's trying to fight hard. It's Spirit Ridge in front from Lindemann. New Endeavour. Then came Democracy Manifest getting the gap. Faulkner Park wide out. Spirit Ridge just in front of Lindemann. Lindemann going to Spirit Ridge. Lindemann puts the nose in front, and Lindemann, oh, the magic man found a way. Lindemann nosed out Spirit Ridge, and Democracy Manifest third, I think, in front of Arapaho, steaming home.
Just Kathy saying is that Waller-Moreira combination's a beauty, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and that was a strong ride. You know, Joe might be the right kind of rider for this horse, and he needed to be
through the spring champion and some of the top class horses that have been able to win the race. So 3 years now, 3 runnings. It's off to Cox Plate Day. So who's trying to win their first Group 1 last 3 years now, 3 runnings? It's off to Cox Plate Day. So who's trying to
impact on this market, because Swift Falcon is a horse that will have to go back, whereas El Castillo, as you heard, even though it is from a wide-ish draw in 7, will likely go forward and try to sit 1-1 if others come across. So it's the best supported at this early stage, 310. Swift Falcon out, $3.60 to $4. Henline, $4.80. Harlem Queen, the horse for the rest. But at the moment, it is the son of Castelvecchio that holds favourite. 41% of the overall hold, and for a horse that was second.
And they're off and racing. Henline jumped fairly off the inside. El Castillo left well together with Noises, Flying Argento. And now Henline's driving right along the rails, trying to hold a lot of them out. Harlem Queen burst through the pack, followed then by Pleasure Artist, who plonks down on the fence. Firm Agreement slots over on the outside of Rag Queen, and Swift Falcon has dropped back to last from the wide gate. So Noises goes on with the job now, and Noises looking for an outright lead. Henline under restraint, and now the favourite El Castillo strides to a clear second. So he's in front approaching the 1100 metres. Noises out by a length and a half on El Castillo, who appears to have switched off very nicely there in second position. He's shooting for 4 in a row today, El Castillo, and Henline a lot close in the run, parked third on the inside as Flying Argento, one of the roughies, the maiden, gets going down the side of the track and puts some pepper into the race. Flying Argento takes the lead from Noises. El Castillo back to third, 2 off to Henline. They're followed then by Pleasure Artist on the inside of Harlem Queen. Then Rag Queen. Now Jay Ford's taking the opportunity to start a run on Swift Falcon at the 600, dropping Duke Calcini and also Firm Agreement. Coming to the turn, and Flying Argento showing the stick now from Noises coming up again. El Castillo chimes in 3 wide, 2 further back to Henline, 5 further back to Swift Falcon, who's making good headway. El Castillo takes the lead inside the 300 with Henline closing in, still several lengths away to Swift Falcon. It's El Castillo and Henline head and head on the inside. El Castillo from Henline. It's going to be a fight to the end. El Castillo's lifting from Henline, and El Castillo won the spring champion, fending off Henline, and Firm Agreement ran through into third, followed by Harlem Queen. Then Pleasure Artist. Swift Falcon with too much to do, missed the top 4 or 5 at the end. Then Noises.
That's so well, because when Zach Lloyd took off, it really made it just perfect for El Costello. And he was just too strong, wasn't he? He's a good horse.
He really was too good in the end, and it was just such a needed because they were going slow. They carved out a 13 from the 1,000 to the 800, which is steady. And he just didn't go with them. He knew what he had underneath him, and then the horse was just...
And the preparation was set up so that today's race would give him the step to go to the Derby. Looks like that'll happen.
And see a tear in your eye.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a nice horse.
And the filly ran fourth, Harlem Queen. She's run a good race. Castelvecchio's first Group 1, and John Massara is...
We're likely to see El Costello start as favourite in the Penfolds Victoria Derby.
Yeah, I think so. He seems to have the form on the board. Very consistent horse, can take up a good position. But like I said, I think Gates will be really important in the Derby. It's obviously a short run to that first turn. And the races, the lead-ups have all been slowly run. So I think Gates are going to be really important in that race. I did, like you said...
Path. I thought his performance yesterday was excellent, but he's just got this wonderful racing style. We often talk about horses that have the ability to go forward, put themselves up on speed, and that's exactly what he was able to do.
And not long ago, Zugotcha was our $3.60 favourite in this, with Magic Time a point away at $4.60. That's completely flipped on its head now. Magic Time's been really well supported, clearly, and your point on the map is spot on. It is a little bit sticky, but a few thinking maybe Magic Time can slide across and just get a little bit of cover and prove too good. So, 26 to 15 roll on high, and Coco Jambo is 18, 19 or more.
Racing now. Macarena left sharply off the inside. So did Terramata wide out. Q's likely. Royal Merchant pretty handy, and it looks as though Magic Time going forward as well. This is a keen go here for the lead in the early part. Terramata out deep. Up the inside is Macarena, and Magic Time is right on the scene as well. So Magic Time presses on now, and Belclair presses on, and now Belclair takes the lead from Terramata. Macarena and Magic Time's going to settle fourth, followed by Royal Merchant. Q's likely drops well back and parks on the outside of route. So Belclair makes the running from Terramata. Then Macarena and Magic Time handily positioned, and Nash peeling three wide, putting Zugotcha four wide as they straighten up. And Belclair now to the fence, leads the way from Terramata. Now Magic Time running on. Back on the inside, Macarena. Alencia's next a little bit one pace. Zugotcha's not going well. Belclair still the one to get. Now Magic Time trying to knuckle down. Macarena the inside. Belclair still going at the 100. Belclair in front from Magic Time, and Belclair at a third Sydney start causes an upset there in the invitation. Belclair by a length and a quarter. Magic Time, Macarena. Good gap back to Alencia. Royal Merchant. Q's likely, hasn't it, put its name in the black book there. Coco Jambu next from Roots. Now Zugotcha's weakened out tamely again. Alencia did...
So 3, 2 and 7 there, with 5 in fourth place. So Belclair for Bjorn Baker, and also Tyler Schiller over Magic Time.
Prominent in this year's feature. Now, the top two in the betting, they were scratched from last Saturday's Caulfield Stakes. We had one come out.
And they're racing, and Red Aces from barrier number 5 broke away evenly with opening address, and there's Perla Patch on the outside pushing up to lead the race in the first 100 metres, and is going to cross the face of the field. So the leader, Perla Patch from opening address, Vianara third, Red Aces, and then came the Bantam Autumn Heat, King of Thunder, Peru. Of a length in front of opening address, and they get away about 2 lengths in front of Red Aces, Vianara, followed then by Autumn Heat, the Bantam, a length and a half, King of Thunder, Peru, and Politely Done last as they run off the back section. Perla Patch at the 800 metres from opening address, a length and a quarter, Vianara. Red Aces every possible chance. King of Thunder is about to make a move on the outside, 3 and 4 deep from Autumn Heat, and then came the Bantam. Politely Done gets past Peru at the school. Perla Patch and opening address together at the 550. Red Aces 3/4 of a length away, hooked to the outside, and is about to make its run. It could hear King of Thunder coming, and they were followed further back by Vianara, Autumn Heat, Politely Done. Red Aces went for home, coming up to the corner, put the foot down, opening address is going with the favourite. They get away from Perla Patch, and then came King of Thunder and Peru. Red Aces having to stave off opening address, who's kicking at the 100. Opening address with Red Aces, then King of Thunder, opening address, Red Aces coming at it, then King of Thunder, they hit it, favourite got in, straight in Red Aces.
from King of Thunder opening address in a great finish. A gap to a photo. Peru was there with also
and you may not see or hear.
He was fractious in the barriers the previous Saturday ahead of the Classic. Nick Ryan's done a good job to dust him off, get him back to the races within the space of 7 days, and now he's got to do the backup.
Yeah, I heard in Jamie Mott's comments, post-race comments, that he was obviously very fresh last week when he was fractious at the gates, again a bit this week. So sounds like there's still some improvement to come. They've been really slowly run races, these Derby trials, this race and last week's race. So they haven't really been staying tests. So the horses that have been able to capitalise on good starts and good positions have really been able to really capitalise on that. So. And even Lizzie said yesterday the Spring Champion wasn't a fast run race either. So, you know, I think gates and positions in running will be important in the Derby coming up next week.
But also when you compare those two races as well, you don't have a Pride of Jenny, who is a horse that...
We've got the Valley specialist in the form of Mornington Glory, the winner of the Moya 2-back. The question that hovers over him is 1,200 metres. Amy, you pick...
Those top three.
And it has been Barrakiel that's attracted the late interest. $4 into $3.60. The clear second elect at that quote. Oscar's Fortune, a $3.20 chance, was $3.20 into $2.80. Has gone back to $3.20. Still market support coming at that price. I'm Unstoppable.
To go, and they're away, and a beautiful line. I Am Unstoppable goes back to the end. Going through Mornington Glory is the initial leader with Oscar's Fortune, who's forcing up on the outside, and Barrakiel third. A length and a half, Telbrigar is being used up to get across, and then came Salui the Inferno, 2 lengths to Party, and then came Extra 2. I Am Unstoppable as last. Oscar's Fortune off the back section at the 750 by 2.5 to Mornington Glory, a length and a half to Barrakiel, then Salui, Telbrigar, the Inferno, a length and a quarter Extra 2 to Party, and I Am Unstoppable at the 600 metres. So it's Oscar's Fortune filling up the lungs, a length Mornington Glory, the Group 1 winner 2 starts ago, getting closer, a length and a quarter Barrakiel, then Telbrigar, Salui hunting the inside from the Inferno. Extra 2's in an awkward place from Stapati, and I Am Unstoppable. Mornington Glory claims Oscar's Fortune on the point of the corner. Barrakiel has absolutely tanked up on the outside. Barrakiel, Benny Allen hasn't moved, and now he does, and the horse puts up 2 or 3 lengths in front of Mornington Glory, the Inferno. I Am Unstoppable. Barrakiel, a big winner, 2.5 lengths. I Am Unstoppable, second, Mornington Glory, the Inferno, then Extra 2's to Party, Telbrigar, Oscar's Fortune, and the last one to complete the course, Salui.
Matt Hill putting words to the pictures, as only Matt Hill can. Tanked up was the perfect description of Barrakiel. Troy Corstens has been submerged in a Bent Racing mosh pit. 6 from 8. He's related to a very handy staying filly in Angel of Mercy. Oh, sorry, Autumn Angel. Angel of Mercy's their dam. But goodness me, this guy's got some talent. What an incredible story. An incredible story. Didn't make his debut until he was 5. And he is undefeated around a bend, and now a Group 2 winner. And it's been a
program in early September. This was a 1,000-metre race. It's been moved back to 1,200, and I suppose to sort of link between the Moya, the Manikato, and their now restructure, and then also perhaps giving some horses a chance to head towards the Champions Sprint. I'm not sure if Barrakiel's going to go that way, but he's going to get his opportunity at Group 1 level at some stage. This was a stunning performance, Ollie.
It was. He was giving away a little bit in the ratings to the handicaps there, so they must have had a good opinion to throw him in a race like this. And they've done a great job with him. He was an injury-plagued horse early, had a bit of time off. They've got him back.
The ownership group about how patient they've had to be with him, but they're reaping the rewards. And the way that he was able to perform yesterday at the Valley, kick off of the bend, he's a beautiful individual as well, really strong and powerful. So the world's his oyster. I thought I'm Unstoppable ran super as well. That's the way that he is. He gets back, runs on. He ran well at Warwick Farm under new tutelage from Kieran Maher, and then came down here for his second up run. I thought that was a credible performance, but he is just that typical get back, run on horse.
Winner Barrakiel, as we've alluded to, they did so much hard work to get this horse back. And Mornington Glory, who was absolutely unwanted in the betting yesterday, but ran another terrific race. and has had a great campaign. Won the Moir, obviously, was 450 out to 10 yesterday, but stuck on well, I thought.
Can we just go back to the Moonee Valley Cup?
Of conditions, a handicap 1983 to 2011, weight for age 2012 to 2023, and now a set weights plus penalties race, and it's got quite the compressed of Group 1 winners. There might be some potential Group 1 winners in this race, Amy Yogi.
Yeah, for Amy's pick of the yard, but it is the top two in the market that have been the best backed. We've got a change in favouritism with the support coming strongly for Plenty of Ammo. Second up from a spell and now into $4.20 from $5 to win second up. Royal Champion, long-time market leader, and as I speak, it's just firmed from $4.40 into $4.20. Was $5.50.
Forward gates are back and they're racing in the Crystal Mile. Nugget jumped well with Royal Champion and Poison Chalice the outside. Plenty of Ammo dug up to fourth, and there's Laws of Indices from the deep also sweeping across. Uncle Bryn next on the fence. So they reach the bottom corner with 1,300 metres to run, and it's now going to the lead. Royal Champion by a length and 3/4. Poison Chalice 3 wide at the moment, trying to get across. Laws of Indices out even wider. Uncle Bryn next, then Nugget. A length and 1/4 away out deeper. Cirileo Miss, and then came Von Hawk the inside. Next is Plenty of Ammo, who's one off the... Royal Champion took it up off the back section. 850 metres to go. By a length 2 in second. Laws of Indices, a length and 1/4. Uncle Bryn, Poison Chalice, and then came Cirileo Miss 3 wide. A length and 1/2 to Von Hawk, and then came Plenty of Ammo, who's on the back of the stablemate. Next in the field is Nugget, and then came Rumbled Again, Set Alight from Super Razi and Light Infantry Man, the leader Royal Champion. 550 metres to go. Got away here about a length and 1/2 to in second. Laws of Indices. Then came Uncle Bryn around the outside. Plenty of Ammo's coming into it, followed by next in the field Von Hawk getting up on the inside. Royal Champion, 250 metres to go. Put up 2 lengths. 2 in second, Uncle Bryn. Plenty of Ammo coming with a surging run. And then came Nugget to the outside. Royal Champion, 100 to go from Plenty of Ammo and Nugget. Royal Champion trying to stave them off, but Plenty of Ammo's got it. And Plenty of Ammo over the top beat Royal Champion, Nugget or Von Hawk, then Poison Chalice. Next in the field, Super Razi, Light Infantry Man from Uncle Bryn, and then came Cirileo Miss, who had...
Well, Plenty of Ammo. The question will be asked of Liam Hoy in a moment. Is it the Empire Rose next Saturday? Is it perhaps the Champions Mile at the back end? Seeing off Cirileo Miss and Poison Chalice in the closing stages, but Plenty of Ammo in perhaps not dissimilar fashion to Barraquil.
Wanted to be, and along the side I was able to get out into the stage.
Able to find the line strongly. This overall race, Ollie, when you had a look at it, I thought that Royal Champion was going to be able to really sort of put a stretch on them. He travelled up really nicely, but was there enough speed on or too much speed on for him to sustain that on-pace run?
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like he had his chance to me. There was a bit of a traffic jam behind him with Light Infantry Man, and Von Hawk didn't have the clearest of paths behind him. But can't take anything away from the winner. It was a perfect ride by Geordie Childs and just got the win there. But Simon Wild's got a great record in these mile races at the Valley. I think his mare, this Cirileo Miss, might...
Far Lap, Rising Fast, Tulloch, Tobin Bronze, Gunsin, Kingston Town.
Kingston Town can't win. He might win yet, the champ. What a run! Kingston Town wins it an extra.
Marvel at the race of the century. 2 New Zealanders running on memory. Bill Collins equal to the moment.
Bone Crusher races into equine immortality.
Greg Hall and Superimpose survived carnage and surged to victory in 1992.
In the middle, Prince Salieri getting a run, better loosen up and Superimpose. Let's Alope in front, Superimpose driving. Super, I think Superimpose to Let's Alope on the Cox Plate.
Up goes Might and Power. Might and Power, the second horse to collect the Caulfield, Melbourne Cup and Cox Plate Trinity.
He's going to get it. The earth starts to rumble. Might and Power takes the Cox Plate.
Sunline honoured a raucous Valley faithful to herald in a new century of champions.
She might be the greatest in the world, Sunline.
Northerly.
Sunline, they got very tight, but Northerly wins the Cox Plate. Is lifting, he's flashing.
Fields of Omar.
Fields of Omar, he's lunged with Elsa Goodyear.
Mackay Diva.
In the middle, but Mackay Diva, she's the champ.
and So You Think.
He's racing clear, and So You Think has bolted in
The honour roll of legends cresting with Winks.
Now Winks stands tallest here in the Cox Plate.
Lee Gracheur.
Stops up.
So Dragonet and State of Rest each enrich the Cox Plate. Animo added a Cox Plate chapter, making amends at 2022. James McDonald steered the local champ to a famous victory, an entree to his second success on Hong Kong's and Danny Shum's fearless favourite, Romantic Warrior.
So the countdown and the build-up commences in earnest ahead of the 104th running of the Ladbrokes Cox Plate.
Cox Plate time and prognosis is trimmed up late in betting from 390 into 380. He's going to jump favourite and has been the best back runner throughout the course of the week. Today on race day, there was a strong early move for Pride of Jenny. That money's just dried up slightly. She's back out to 440. Similar story with Via Sistina. She hit a high of 550.
Is Mr. Brightside. He makes his third assault on the great race with Craig Williams attached. Second last year behind Romantic Warrior, his build-up. Second into the Minka. Well, here he is, horse 2, Prognosis. He's been a central character of the build-up to this race since it was confirmed that Mitsu Nakachita would bring this 3-time Group 1 place getter, once at home behind the great Equinox and twice in Hong Kong in the QE2 behind last year's winner of this race, Romantic Warrior. He comes here bringing excellent global form lines. He sure. The Fian moved a little bit closer to the Cox Plate. Can she become the first to complete the double since El Segundo did so in 2007? 3 Group 1s to date. The Empire Rose and Champions Mile last spring at Flemington, and then made a one-act affair of the Queen Elizabeth during the Sydney Autumn. Well, she was beaten by... And she has been the news story in the build-up to this race since Tuesday morning, becoming entangled in a dislodged bandage, and in the process dislodging her jockey, James McDonald, who's trying to become the first jockey since Brent Thompson in the late 1970s to win this race 3 years in a row on different horses. Animo and Romantic...
Up run behind her by beating the informed Buckaroo in the Turnbull. She might be even better suited here onto a firmer surface. The market's got a huge opinion of her. She gets firm ground to suit today. Outside of the
24 Cox Plate, the first of them, the 8 broadsiding. We've had 3 3-year-old colts win this race in the 21st century. James Cummings almost...
His CV, though, is as good as any 3-year-old that's previously won a Cox Plate. He's already a 3-time Group 1 winner, and he was the top of the pops as...
First through the tunnel, the volume at the Valley, the cauldron that it is. The dial is turned up a couple of notches. We got a treat last year.
Times. I'm going to go with Prognosis. I thought this horse is just a really lovely athletic type. He just looks like...
Japanese galloper here, Prognosis, was $3.90 into $3.80 when we last checked the betting. Subsequently back from $3.80 into $3.60, and the bigger bet's still coming.
Look at the market. He's at $3.30. He'll go off your favourite almost with some sort of certainty. Pride of Jenny on the second line of betting. Last time she ran over 2,000 lengths. She's your second favourite. Via Sistina, all the money came early when they found out she was in the final field after the mishap on Tuesday. She was $5.50 into $4.60, just a touch soft late, back out to $5. Broadsiding got out to $7.50, and he said, all right, that's it. The punters rallied again, came back into $6.50 now.
Than anything else. This is the day that a racehorse goes from good to great, and most of them only get one chance. So,
racing in the Cox Plate. Evaporates slow and almost stumbled out of the gates. Via Sistina away fairly. Royal Patronage led the race early. Pride of Jenny and Prognosis right up there, and driving up Evaporate made a line of 4 at the post. So Pride of Jenny steadily working across 4 deep on the first corner. They were followed by Mr. Brightside. Docklands the inside, 2.5 Via Sistina, Kovalika and Broadsiding last. So Royal Patronage led, 1,600 to go. Pride of Jenny sits outside of it for now. Prognosis a length and a quarter away, third from Evaporate, who's kept 3 wide. A length and a half, Mr. Brightside. Docklands Via Sistina. Kovalika is second last. Broadsiding last. Pride of Jenny went to the front. Bottom corner, 1,300 to go. And Pride of Jenny's put up 3 lengths now from Prognosis second. Royal Patronage passed by Evaporate on that corner. They were followed by Mr. Brightside, a length and a half to Docklands. Then Via Sistina. Next in the field, Kovalika and Broadsiding at
at halfway. Pride of Jenny is the leader in the Cox Plate by about 2.5 to Prognosis, keeping the mare in his sights. A length and 3/4 away, Evaporate. Then came Royal Patronage and Mr. Brightside as they run towards the 700 metres. Via Sistina's 7 off the lead at least from Docklands, broadsiding Kovalika. So it's Pride of Jenny, 600 metres to go. A length and a half to Prognosis, who's nice and close. They're 2 lengths in front of Via Sistina, who's coming into it. Mr. Brightside's coming with her, and then came Royal Patronage. Pride of Jenny grabbed by Prognosis, but Via Sistina now pushes the button on the outside and goes up and takes the lead. Via Sistina, 300 metres to go, puts up 2 legs. Prognosis, Docklands, Mr. Brightside, and then came Royal Patronage. But Via Sistina storms away with 150 to go. She's 5 lengths in front. It's going to be a Cox Plate round, and James McDonald, a century of the very best. Via Sistina by 7 lengths. Second Prognosis. Third in the race was Broadsiding. Mr. Brightside next. Then Docklands, Kovalika. Royal Patronage, Pride of Jenny, and Evaporate last.
Put it at the top of the list. We've seen some extraordinary things here in Cox Plates. J-Mac gets a 100th Group 1 win. He wins the Cox Plate for the 3rd consecutive year. It's the stuff of legends. Chris Waller's a genius, and this mare's a champion. And I'm standing alongside the wife. Go. Richo, we have seen some amazing performances in the Cox Plate. The stuff that we say we won't see it again, do you know what? We've seen one as good as we've ever seen before.
Well, Bruce, I don't want to compare her, but that was Winx-like, wasn't it? The way that she
joins a rare group to win 100 Group 1s. Chris Waller, who won 4 Cox Plates on the mighty Winx, wins a 5th in stunning fashion on a mare that he has managed in a manner that perhaps only Chris Waller and his team can. Since the early hours of Tuesday morning, when James McDonald was dislodged as Via Sistina became entangled in bandages at about the 100.
What this mare's been through, and she's just an absolute star. I'm so lucky to be part of it. I flew down on Thursday to work her, and all of them said, excuse my French, she'll shit in. I honestly can't believe it. I love this race. I love this place. And to win a Cox Plate with Chris Waller, who is my greatest supporter, and it's so special. It's so fitting. He's brought up. I'm blessed. So blessed.
You've been quoted as saying that privilege, the pressure you feel in these big occasions is a real privilege. I mean, that's so evident about her. What makes her so incredible?
She's got an unbelievable sustained speed, and I think it's a huge asset to have in this high-pressure race. It was a Winx-like performance. Charlotte, I can't believe it.
I had to go to Plan B with this girl after Tuesday morning.
We've done these things before, I guess. So thanks, Frank. Look, I think just forget what happened. She's just a good horse. Yeah, I've just done my job to prove it.
Yeah, we must have.
Most things I couldn't have been more wrong, but what an unbelievable performance. And I think people were almost in stunned disbelief after the race. In the Fian, the noise was so loud with Pride of Jenny leading and Mr. Brightside coming, but it was almost like a shock gasp the way she just put them to the sword yesterday.
So let's work our way through the race. And Ollie, Via Sistina stops the clock in a track record just a shade over 2.01. So comparisons, Winx's 3rd Cox Plate, 2:02.96 or thereabouts. Via Sistina's broken the track record by close to 2 seconds. The first 5 over the line have broken the track record that Winx set in 2017. And on raw numbers, Pride of Jenny's led them out in sort of sub-51 to the 1200. Via Sistina, faster than Winx in the 3rd Cox Plate to the 1200 by about 1.25 seconds, and home faster by about 0.65. They are incredible fractions.
Yeah, great numbers there, Nige. Although it's not definitive
day to day,
lining up, on different days, it's a fair guide. Just the same on racing on similar tracks. Didn't look like they were going that fast for the first 600 of the race, but I think the fact that Jenny couldn't get there didn't seem to be... definitely didn't have quite the urgency that he has shown in the past to probably get there. But I think the fact that there was 3 or 4 up on the pace, travelling quite keenly, showed that there was a little bit more pressure than what there appeared early in the race.
And perhaps one that we didn't anticipate being the Japanese galloper Prognosis, who holds on for second. Let's take in Matt Hill.
Pride of Jenny, 600 metres to go. A length and a half to Prognosis, who's nice and close. They're 2 lengths in front of Via Sistina, who's coming into it. Mr. Brightside's coming with her. And then came Royal Patronage. Pride of Jenny grabbed by Prognosis, but Via Sistina now pushes the button on the outside and goes up and takes the lead. Via Sistina, 300 metres to go, puts up 2 legs. Prognosis, Docklands, Mr. Brightside, and then came Royal Patronage. But Via Sistina storms away with 150 to go. She's 5 lengths in front. It's going to be a Cox Plate rout, and James McDonald, a century of the very best. Via Sistina by 7 lengths.
Let's bring in our Centurion, James McDonald.
Yeah, it was a great day there yesterday and a sensational performance by one hell of a mare.
We knew going into the...
I was pleasantly surprised, as well as pretty happy to see 4 of them across the track going out past the post the first time. I had a very, very simple game plan and spoke to Chris at length about it, but just keeping the mare pretty happy and smooth, and that was the biggest thing for me. I didn't really care where I was in the race up till about the 800, where I thought, all right, time for you to do a bit of work, and she just slid into the race just beautifully without spending a penny. And obviously the pace was strong, probably from the mile to the 800, and then I thought let's make it and really work for it, and she was sensational. Look, I didn't expect the performance can do, and she just seemed at home there. And then obviously Tuesday, all you want is the last little piece of the puzzle to go right, and it went far from right. It was, I just couldn't believe it. I didn't know what happened. I suppose I think the first thing is I thought she actually went amiss, and for her to gallop around the track was obviously pleasant to see, but I didn't really want to see her gallop 3 times around the track, maybe once, but just shows good horses train themselves, and good horses probably ride themselves as well. So
I don't know whether
more dominant, but for some, I just got a wonderful spot, a soft spot for Romantic Warrior. I think he's an absolutely champion, and this mare's obviously well on her way. She's 7 years old, so how long do we have her around for? That's the other thing. She couldn't have done much more than she did there, obviously on yesterday. But she looks to have pulled up pretty well. I'd love to see her in a Melbourne Cup if they decide to go there. I think she would run the 3,200 out okay, and she's had apart from that one hiccup on Tuesday where she obviously just built fitness levels, I suppose. She's ready to go.
James,
we will one day be at Yulong.
Ollie, it's looked like the very elegant prep of 2021 to me all the way along. Through the Winks, come to Melbourne, run in the Mackay Diva and the Turnbull, go to a Cox Plate, and then the next logical step in that path is a Melbourne Cup. It would almost be depriving the sport if she isn't there in a couple of Tuesdays' time. They'll put the horse first, of course, but you can see her doing this in a Melbourne Cup, can't you, where she'll just switch off for a couple of 1,000 metres, and then when James says it's time to go to work, she'll go to work?
Yeah, well, she's got the class on her side, and Very Lake can only run 3rd in a Cox Plate. She's demolished them there. They've also got Buckaroo, which is, the stable and connections, got a well-fancied horse in the Melbourne Cup. So whether they think they might be able to win it with that or have a 2-pronged attack with Via Sistina, who knows? But I think she'd start favourite probably if she did run in the Melbourne Cup.
So how possibly does that horse break the track record of an icon by close to 2 seconds yesterday? It's unfathomable.
Well, I mean, it's all set up by the pace, obviously. I think Galo Chop led that Winks Cox Plate. This pace was probably created by 3 or 4 horses up on the pace in the first half of the race, and James was obviously able to rest his horse early. You know, of the on-pace horses, there's only one that kept going. That was Prognosis. So he was obviously a remarkable effort. The other 3 horses finished in the last 3 that were up on the pace. So obviously that early pace told on them.
So to those in behind, I think Prognosis, admirable performance to grab a 4th Group 1 placing. What did you make of Damien Lane's tactics to, I guess, put the horse in a position we're perhaps not accustomed to seeing him in? He seemed to jump really well. Clearly the Julian Welsh part of that story has worked well on Australian soil, but what did you make of the tactics in retrospect? I'm not sure if it was a planned thing. I think it was obviously just to see how he jumps, and then when he broke so clean, obviously Damien made that decision to go forward. Evaporate didn't begin so well, and then he actually looked like he caught Jenny's heel just after the start and blundered a little bit, but then he drove up inside Jenny. But, you know, whether Jenny's back up inside Jenny, but, you know, whether Jenny's back up in the week and, you know, coming from Sydney, having a tough run the week before and then backing up a week later, it's tough to do 2 grand finals and in 2 weeks and travel in between. So that obviously told a little bit on her as well. But obviously the pace of the race was against her as well, and it really set up for Via Sistina. But, you know, she was the only one from back in the field that was away easily there yesterday. Credit to Broadsiding on his performance as well. There was some genuine fight to turn what looked like it was going to be a top 6 finish into a top 3. Yeah, I thought he was terrific, and that will, I suppose, season him for next year's Cox Plate as well. And had the comments from Jamie Carr saying that, you know, she was pleased with his efforts, but I think that next season you're going to see the very best of him. Just talking about, we chatted... Absolutely. You know, I think... You know, the 1.8 seconds they broke the track record. That sort of 1.8 was probably mostly in the first half, although Via Sistina was the only one that could sustain it late in the race. But she obviously had a good rest early, and Broadsiding was noble, being able to come on, but just not in the same class as Via Sistina there yesterday. That big booming stride of hers would look wonderful at Flemington, and she's obviously got some seriously good cars as well after being, you know, I mean, she would have run over 4,000 metres on Tuesday morning. So what if Jenny and Brightside... OK. Yeah, sorry. If any trainer ever abuses a track rider or jockey for going 2 seconds too fast in a gallop, just tell them to get stuffed. And if you can do that on a Tuesday morning and back that up on a Saturday, I should never come at a jockey or track work rider again.
Who'd be the hardest on you?
We sit here right now. Is she Melbourne Cup favourite?
She's clubhouse leader now for the Champions Stakes and the Melbourne Cup. So it's a little bit of buyer beware because, I mean, you'd say it's incredibly unlikely she'd run in both. But she's $2.20 for the Champions Stakes and she's now a $5 chance for the Melbourne Cup. She was 34 into 26 throughout the course of the week. She reopened $7 last night and she's subsequently been back from $7 into $5. So I think we wanted to go to the Melbourne Cup for the Champions Stakes and the Melbourne Cup. So it's a little bit of buyer beware because, I mean, you'd say it's incredibly unlikely she'd run in both. But she's $2.20 for the Champions Stakes and she's now a $5 chance for the Melbourne Cup. She was 34 into 26 throughout the course of the week. She reopened $7 last night and she's subsequently been back from $7 into $5. So I think we wanted to go to the Melbourne Cup. Could she do both? Would there be any chance? No, not.